Hey, 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 we're chubby.
That's right.
We're drinking
Busch Light.
We're Chubby Bartenders. Got a special guest with us. We're Chubby Bartenders. That's right.
That's right.
Yes, tune in. Hey, Chad, we've been meaning to talk about some sponsors.
Yes,
who do you want
we
to talk
have.
about first?
Well, I'll tell you who I want to talk about.
All right.
Brad Munn.
Brad
And Sarah Munn.
He just shaved his
Munn
beard
family.
the other day.
Oh, I haven't seen him since he's been
smooth,
clean.
Smooth-faced.
I'd like to see him clean again. I like it. But hey, guys, in all seriousness, the Munn family, McDonald's of Jackson, Wellston,
Top-notch.
Oak Hill, MacArthur, absolutely top notch. I've known that guy my whole life. They're the best. They
Yep.
give back to the community. They're,
Anytime you ask.
Oh, an integral part of our community.
Yep.
And great food. Go over there to McDonald's and get a sandwich.
What's your favorite?
Oh, well, mine now,
Yeah.
since Brad came on the show, is absolutely the apple fritter.
I mean, you can't go wrong with even
Hey,
just a good,
Chad Reynolds approved the apple fritter and a Diet Coke.
I like a good cup of black coffee and a breakfast burrito.
Oh, you can't go wrong there
It's the
either.
best $2 you can spend.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. One of the best,
I mean,
one of the
seriously,
best
$2.
breakfast sandwiches on the planet.
Yeah,
The sausage McMuffin with egg.
by far.
McDonald's.
Yeah, and eating too much of those is what got me beat
Oh.
by our next sponsor, Scott
Who's that?
Massey and Geiger Brothers. I
Oh.
think it's there's a new name. I need to McAvoy. McAvoy Geiger Brothers.
Yeah. Scott, you're going to have to come back on here and educate us on all this.
I don't know
Actually,
what's-
we'd like to talk
I
about
saw the
it.
van. He
Yeah.
hasn't even called me and told me, but I saw the van. Geiger
yeah.
Brothers Construction, ladies and gentlemen. They do everything from HVAC to structural engineering. They do it all down there. Think of those guys whenever you see these buildings and you look at these things and you think, man, I wonder who designed that building and how did they get all that to work. That's what Geiger Brothers does. They take a lot of pride in their work. They're all over the United States, basically,
yeah.
at this point, at least the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah, great guys.
Great guys. They're doing big things. They're a major employer for our local area. So give those guys the support anytime that you can. And, make sure if you need something, you give them a call at 740-286-0800.
Call those guys, man.
Yeah, call them and tell Massey that he's always going to be bigger than Pudge.
I hear he's gaining weight.
They had their victory dinner the other night.
I saw him.
And you know who he was with?
I saw
Another
him.
sponsor, Jason Prater.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to take Prater out to dinner.
It's a good thing that guy's good at what he does.
Oh, I thought, I can't believe I wasn't invited.
Well,
You know,
I mean, look, man. Proof's in the pudding. The gentleman knows what he's doing.
he beat me. And he beat
knows
me
what
with AP Prep.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Jason Prater at Athlete Performance Prep.
I mean,
in
holy God,
Chillicothe,
if he can get Massey over the top with you, if
Imagine.
you're an athlete trying to be the best that you can be, why not get off your ass and earn the day at AP Prep?
Now think about it. How many college athletes do you know right now? I'm going to say that we could name, if we sat here, we could name over 50 college athletes that are D1 and D2 that have came out of AP Prep.
Yeah, and are currently training there.
I'm not even counting currents.
when they come home.
I'm talking the people that are there
Yep.
and have already came out of there.
Absolutely.
I'm in my mind, I know over 50.
Oh, I would agree.
Those
Yeah.
guys, they do a great job. They get you ready. They will look at what your next step is going to be, and they will get you ready for that. And,
Well, and they help in all aspects, man.
All
I mean,
aspects.
they're going to talk about heck. If that's what you're wanting to do, you want to be a college athlete. I mean, they'll talk to you about the ACT. They'll talk to you about stuff like that. They'll talk about the way you live your life.
Yeah.
And then they'll also
they have ACT like prep courses over there.
right. I
and
can't
study
imagine
groups.
Jason Prater teaching that, but hey, I mean, I'm all in,
I am too.
and because I've seen the results, man.
I have too. Yep. They're doing great things at AP Prep. Their slogan is
Earn the day.
"Earn the Day." So go see those guys. And we got anybody else?
Yeah, we do actually. I don't know where you currently have your insurance, but Gillum Insurance
Come see me.
is out there, and they're doing big things at Gillum Insurance. I mean, this agency is really growing. They're they're bringing a lot of recognition to Jackson in the insurance world from that company, and that's because they're doing things right and doing good things. So if you have a need for home, auto, commercial's life, farm. Well, it's probably that time of year when people are looking for commercial insurance.
Hot. Trucking companies are hot right now. Life insurance is
hot. And you probably have a good idea of like what your company is offering real favorable rates on, and you're looking at like commercial.
Yeah, right now is the time to. Yeah, if you're doing that, just like John in the home buying business.
Yeah.
There's times for certain. Aspect, sometimes they're better. Same way in the insurance business right now.
Sometimes rates are favorable.
If you're commercial trucking, call me.
So how would somebody get a hold of you, man?
740-395-0357. You can also get on jason.gillum at americannational.com, american-national.com. Send me an email, or you can just type in Jason Gillum at American National on your Google search, and I'll pop.
There you go, dude. And any way you want to do it, get after it. Let's help out our boy. Come on.
Hey, come see me. All right. Hey, John Daniels, ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Yeah, boy.
Just to open
little splash.
Oh, let's go, George Dickel.
Yeah, how about it? George's first appearance on the show.
The Ross brothers, Jason and Josh Ross.
They're big advocates.
I think their whole family is. I think that it started with their uncles, maybe Paul.
I think that they are George Dickel water conservationists. Don't drink water, drink whiskey. And
it's not good for you anyway to rust your pipes.
Yeah, there you go. So this stuff, the George Dickel stuff's pretty clean. If you like a Tennessee whiskey, I'd argue it probably doesn't get any finer.
Really?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Whenever I used to drink his stuff whenever I was younger, I would think that it was real hot, burning my mouth, all the time.
Yeah.
And, now it's like, it's a good taste.
Well, it is, man. Yeah. Do you like cigars, John?
I do.
Which one would you like?
Turn John down.
Are you going to let me suggest
Turn John's gain down.
This is an Alec Bradley Coil Farm tobacco.
Yeah.
It's in the shape. It's a long, thin Lancero. Pudge and I endorse this one. We've been enjoying these the last few weeks. Yeah.
All right.
You want to try one?
Sure, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
You're not a cigar guy?
Not normally. Sometimes black and mild here and there.
Oh, we've got this.
Hey,
too.
We got
that's normally our second one. I like when they wrap this. You can tell that's hand wrapped. Look at that little pigtail on the end of that thing.
Right there.
Don't normally get that, huh?
Well, I mean, you can just tell that they've taken their time to wrap this one.
Reynolds is what you call. He's a connoisseur. So Reynolds pays close attention to detail on these things.
I'm a poor man's connoisseur. Like I'm not the real connoisseurs would probably scoff at some of my takes, but hey man, I'll take where I'm at.
You like what you like.
That's right. There you go, sir.
Now, Chad. One thing that he's really not particular on is hitting that ashtray.
Yeah, I've struggled with that.
Yeah, like he'll ash that cigar tonight. Everywhere but in there.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mean to.
Yeah, I appreciate it from Steve Lloyd. I mean, he's trying to work with me, but I think the next thing that Steve should send us is one like that with a big bullseye painted in the middle of it or something.
For an ashtray, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah.
So Steve Lloyd, he listens to us down in Florida. He mailed us that this year.
Okay.
And you are kind of in the same boat. You made us a... you took your plasma cutter, is that right?
Yeah.
And you made us a Chubby Bartenders. It did hang here until the drywall gave way. Did you see it back there?
I did. It's all been up.
It's all been up, yeah. But you made us that, and you made us another one. So so what got you into that?
Can you pass me that torch there?
Oh, yeah.
So what got me into plasma cutting?
Yeah.
All right. So y'all know this big, massive pavilion I built for my wife behind the house.
Yes.
Well, I cut all those brackets out myself by hand with another plasma cutter.
Yeah.
I liked how they looked.
I've turned on.
And when I was pricing those around, I saw the price was just astronomical. I said nobody can afford this.
Yeah.
It's a very short list of people that can afford this. So I wanted to make it affordable. And that's what I've done. I've made them affordable.
Made what affordable?
I've made the brackets and building something like that. I've made it affordable
By doing what?
Well, it's
Then the
just
cutting,
me.
yeah.
It's just me in my garage with that machine cutting those out.
So that's what got you started. Was just cutting out those brackets.
Just cutting those brackets out. Wanting
Did you buy that machine specifically for those brackets?
specifically for those brackets and parts.
Yeah. Well, you thought I'll have other uses for this as well.
Yeah, the making the signs and things, that was kind of a side note. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But I really like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something you're obviously very good at. I mean, did it take a lot of trial and error, or
Yeah, it did.
I would say.
I told my wife when I bought it, I said I'm going to have roughly $500 to $1,000 wrapped up in material that'll probably just end up as scrap.
Right.
Because I got to learn how to hone this thing in. $1,500 later, I've got it dialed in.
Well, there you go. Hey, but now though, I mean, you know, I don't know if you've like aggressively marketed that or anything, man, but I mean, stuff like that is in demand. I
It
mean,
is.
If they find out that somebody can do that, you know, I mean,
How mobile is that thing?
How mobile?
What am I hearing? I'm hearing something.
It's in one place right now, and
man.
it'll stay.
Is it so? Like you could pack that up and like go to a trade show and be like, okay, you want to come back in 45 minutes and have Susan filling out orders and you doing
It'll hold a 5x10 sheet of 1-inch steel.
okay.
You know, that's 1,000 pounds or so.
Yeah.
How are you handling that at home? I mean,
So I have this. I bought a gantry crane.
okay,
Everybody knows what a gantry crane is, I think.
no,
No, I don't have a clue.
So
nobody thinks like you, John. This is why I say you're handier than a shirt pocket.
Yeah.
so think of two big A's, like an A-frame house on each
Yeah.
side of it,
Okay.
and then an I-beam going across the top of those.
Okay.
And there's wheels on the bottom of that,
I've seen one of those.
and then a chain hoist.
Okay.
A chain hoist that comes down. I had to make a little spreader bar to pick the steel up, and then just chain hoist it up and roll it over top of the table.
Okay.
Major
Now-
process whenever you go buy steel. Then major process whenever you get home. Not major, but I mean it's engineered. It's thought out. You're not just going to do that and then just let's grab this 1,000-pound piece of steel.
Now, do
Put it
they
on.
deliver you the steel? Probably, right?
Well, they could.
Okay.
They could, but I don't have a forklift yet, so I'm working on that.
Okay.
So I have recently upgraded and bought a pallet jack. So I'll pull them off my trailer
Yeah.
onto a pallet.
Yeah.
And now that makes them mobile around the shop.
Okay.
So that really helps out.
So how long does it take? Like, for instance, the Chubby Bartenders logo, you program that in, and then it starts cutting and goes to work. How long does it take the machine to finish that?
I think that sign took 7 minutes and 40
Oh my,
some seconds.
that thing moves quick then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll run accurately up to 200 inches per minute of cutting.
Wow. Okay.
So
Are you just a savant? Like how do you learn all this stuff? Because you are into a bunch. Like since I've known you in the last 5 years, you've mastered a few things. Like you got into the welding. You built that Jeep bumper.
yeah.
Which I can't do that.
Well, the front Jeep bumper and then the rear tire carrier.
That's yeah. The rear tire carrier was the one that took some engineering.
It did. Yeah.
So like, when are you? How are you figuring that stuff out? I mean, are you just reading? Are you YouTubing or what? I mean,
Well, it's just so everybody here has went to the parts store and bought parts. So you remember doing it 15 years ago before computers were a big thing.
Yeah.
And they would lay this big sheet down and they would pull it around. I don't remember the name of the machine they had, but Napa had 3 of them, I think, or 4. And you would see an exploded view of a part, like an engine torn apart. You have pieces over here and the nuts and bolts and the washers and all that go together.
oh yeah, just a big
An exploded diagram view of it. Well, that's how I see things. You just look at it and imagine what it looks like taken apart, and then how you need to go about making each individual component of that.
Yeah, because that bumper. I mean, you would have had to have sleeved that rear bumper. You would have had to have sleeved that hinge bar.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, and you did all this.
Yeah.
And it was did you ever see it?
Yeah. He was showing it to me one time when we were stopped there at the furnace, the Buckeye furnace.
It's as well engineered a piece of
Oh, yeah.
equipment as anything that I've seen from like rough country.
Oh yeah. So like John, like, are you saying that from the time you were pretty young, your brain has just always worked that way mechanically?
It has. So when I was I remember around 12, 13 years old, Dad bought us a welder for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I think it was more for his use than ours.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it was labeled as ours.
Right.
Then a guy up the road, he worked at Austin Powder. He was a maintenance guy out there. So anything major we needed done, we'd go out there at his place and he'd fix it for us.
Okay.
We were at an estate sale somewhere right about that time, and there was a drafting table. Big drafting table, had the slide arm and slide rule and things. And
thing for your light and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dad, I asked him to buy it, and he bought it for me. It was like $20 or $30. I think it mostly sold that way because not too many people knew what it was.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And they didn't want to move it because it's heavy as hell.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, I still have that same table in my garage now in my office.
Yeah.
Alongside a computer with a monitor that's just ginormous for laying all this stuff out. And ever since I got that thing, I've been laying things out and drafting them when I build them. And in high school, there was a mechanical drawing class.
Oh, yeah.
So I took 4 years of that.
They still have it.
Yeah. Did you go to Jackson High School?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so
It was class of
did you
03.
have Paul Seitz for that? Or?
I did.
I mean, that guy's awesome. I took that class as well. I mean, that's an amazing class.
never did take it.
Well, I'll tell you that class. Now, for me, I'd say a guy like John, like it probably just made perfect sense to you, and like you clicked with it.
Yeah.
For me, my brain didn't work that way, so it took I really had to work on it.
Yeah.
But what I would say is Mr. Seitz was a great teacher as far as that goes.
Yes.
Because he could understand the guys that saw it mechanically or technically and do that. But then he could take a guy like me who, I didn't know, know.
Yeah.
But like he had a really unique way of teaching you how to see it. And, when you start with mechanical drawing 1, like you start with the 3 separate views, and then you slowly work to where you're drawing it 3-dimensionally and everything. I mean, I was fascinated by that class.
Yeah.
But I will say that like I was one of those that had to work for the grade in there, man. Like that stuff never did click with me easily.
Yeah.
But like I saw several guys in my class. I'll tell you another guy, Joe Simpson, man. He could buzz right through that stuff, man. Yeah.
He just sees it.
Yeah. And it's no surprise to me that he's a mechanic now.
Yeah.
I mean.
And you've done like Joey. Joey did my Jeep frame. He's done 2 Jeep frames for me, and I was really impressed. Did I ever show you how he did that last one where he cut out the frame and then he put the other ones inside it?
Okay.
And engineered it that way. It was pretty slick the way he it was basically you cut out the bad.
Yeah.
And then whenever you do the good, you sleeve it back in and it makes it even stronger. And I was like, damn, that's a pretty good job.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Do you do all your own work on your Jeeps and stuff like that, John?
For the most part,
Pretty
yes. Except the oil changes. and the
Is
reason
that too technical or what, man?
hey, there's a shop down the road.
Okay, yeah.
They'll change it.
Yeah.
You just drop it off and pick it up.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper than what you could have bought it for.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so I mean, you see this. I mean, you've just kind of been. No, I don't want to say piddling with this, but it's just kind of been an extra. I mean, you've been into a shit ton of stuff here in the last, especially in the last 5 years that I've known you.
Yeah.
5, maybe more than that. How long have I known you, John? 6, maybe 7?
6-7 years, yeah.
I mean, now you've got your real estate license. You're an electrician for the city.
No, I'm not an electrician.
You're not an electrician.
No, I'm a tree trimmer.
You're a
for the
tree
city.
trimmer for the city.
Yes.
Okay, you just work down in the electric.
Yeah.
Out of the electric building. But you got your real estate license. We were just talking. You helped do the finish work on some rentals, and I mean, I know one house that you did for up on Ralph Street that I saw some stuff you did. So I mean, you're kind of into this just crafty, build your own stuff. Like what makes that stuff pop for you? Like what? Like how did you decide? Hey, this is where I'm going with all this.
Well, I just enjoy working with my hands mostly.
Yeah, you like going out in the garage or the shop and
doing stuff. Yeah,
and doing stuff.
Yeah, it's not changing a spark plug in a lawnmower. I mean, it's a little more technical than that, but
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
yeah.
I like a little bit of a puzzle. Yeah.
So like you're a guy like you would never consider hiring somebody to build you a deck or something like that or any kind of work at home or something. You're going to do it yourself. You'll figure it out and do it.
So do you know my old house on David?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a 30 by 30 deck, two level.
Yeah.
and it turned out really nice. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, yeah.
And I despise spindles, so I didn't put any spindles on it.
Yeah, okay.
Instead, I put louvers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty slick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the upper louvers, they move.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, they do the whole deal. I know that first Jeep, that the one that you bought that was propane.
Yeah.
You did a ton with it, didn't you? Didn't
Yeah.
you converted it back over?
I converted it back over to gas.
Yep.
And by that time, the engine had had some damage to it. So,
Tell me about those propane Jeeps. Tell me about Tell me about.
was that a thing, or did somebody convert it, or
well,
what?
People will convert, and they'll run like off of gas, like
Yeah.
LP
Like,
gas.
LP
yeah,
gas.
Like
yeah.
what you get at Speedway.
Right.
It'll screw right into it.
they
and
screw
there you
right
go.
into they'll put a mounting.
Is
thing
there
in.
an advantage to doing that?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Why do people do that?
Well,
Heavy, weight.
it's not a weight thing. So the thing
be.
is, you get a more,
Get a colder.
well, it'll run immediately. The engine doesn't have to warm up a little bit, before it's running good. Like a typical carbureted engine.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to warm up as much. Your power is right now too. It's not a slow build. It's all at once.
You're not waiting on anything to open, are you?
No, you push it and it's full throttle.
Mileage wise, how is it?
Horrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, how many tanks are you going through of that stuff? I mean,
So a 30-pound cylinder, but there may have been something wrong with it. I don't know. It could have been where there was something wrong with the engine.
okay.
So when I left
Yeah, because if you have a leak in your engine, you're just bleeding,
yeah,
aren't you?
yeah,
Because there's no, there will be a shut. I'm sure there is. Is there a shut-off valve? I know there's one on the tank, but
there's one on the tank, and then there's an electric shut-off. You shut off your fuel to that. Yeah,
But
or
like,
that's how I had it wired in.
up at the motor, is there another shut-off on that?
Just a butterfly like a carburetor.
And you're not going to do that every time you get out of it.
No,
Yeah. You probably never touched it.
no.
Yeah.
So I left my house on Bronx Corner,
Uh-huh.
drove 2 Dakotas, or not Dakotas, Longhorn, Chillicothe, and halfway back we had to stop and I had to switch tanks.
Really?
So that's a
Oh
30-pound
my.
tank.
Oh my.
Wow.
But when you're mud running or trail riding or something like that, it's phenomenal. It's a blast.
Just because your power's right
your
now.
power's right now.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
But you probably go through a lot of propane, though. I mean, man,
Yeah.
like you go on a ride
That's not
like
a daily-
Jeeping for
it was
Joy
not
or
a
something.
daily
here.
driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that I've watched what you did with that thing, and you've. I just always noticed that about you. You will jump into anything, and and wherever you get done, it's better. And I'm like, shit, this guy knows what he's doing.
So you decided with that propane pretty quick that like, all right, I'm converting it back to gas.
It was within the first month or so you had it, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I had to, when I bought it, it was propane. There was no rear seat because that's where the 2 30-pound cylinders strap down.
Yeah.
And just the idea of, if I roll this thing in the woods and
Lock
I rupture
in.
a tank, I'm done.
Yeah, that's it. Game over.
And you can't, if you're out trail riding 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
you need gas.
What are you gonna do?
You gonna run to Speedway
Yeah.
in Jackson or Chillicothe when you're over at Allensville?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
who's open? You
Right.
can't siphon a gallon out of your buddy's tank.
Yeah. So you immediately changed that over then.
Yeah,
What'd you do with all that stuff?
I sold it.
Did you?
Yeah.
People buy it.
Yeah, people buy
I'd say
it.
for like your quick mud run people, like maybe your pit people,
Yeah.
that would be good.
Oh, it's great for that.
Yeah. Those guys that are just going from here to the end of the building,
Yeah.
over a bog. Mm-hmm. I can't say that I've really got big into the mud stuff. Have you?
I not so much the mud. I like the trail riding, just kind
I've
of going
done
out
it,
and
yeah,
riding.
I like that, but
I don't like water.
I'm not trying to tear nothing up. I'd love a good trail. Hey, let's see if we can get over this ditch and how we can get over. I love all that, but
Yeah.
to bury
You don't like taking chances.
I worked
So-
in them strip mines for so long that I don't give a damn if I ever see mud again. I don't mind
Yeah,
dirt
yeah,
at
yeah.
all, but I don't.
Yeah, but
just-
you're not looking to go out there and try to get it hung up.
No.
I mean, if it happens,
Yeah, so be it.
Yeah.
But-
Now, where are you on that, John? Do you like to go out and see what you can do with it? I mean, take some chances, see if you can get it hung up, or what?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've taken your whole family. You guys are pretty into this as a family. I
Yeah.
mean, you usually have the kids with you, so you're not trying to do nothing stupid.
No, just out to have a good time. Yeah.
You've owned. Well, you did own 3 about a year ago. Now you're down to just 1.
Now we're down to 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So I sold the Jeep. I sold the black Jeep, the one that
Yeah.
I did the work to.
Yeah.
I sold it because I wanted this plasma table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sold the Jeep, and a day or two later, placed the order.
Yeah. Yeah. You think, so, I mean, you don't regret doing that then?
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
I would like to get another Jeep. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe, so how I did that Jeep, bulked it up and
Yeah.
made it a little more trail worthy.
It was definitely a tank. It was I mean, it's damn near bulletproof, isn't it? I mean, not bulletproof, but.
It had 3/16 body armor,
all the way around
it.
Yeah.
I was so what I was wanting to happen was, you know how the little lady will get out of her car and the wind will catch the door and it'll put it into the next vehicle in a parking spot.
You want to bounce back and hit her.
Oh, I was wanting to come walking out of Kroger's or someplace and somebody throw a door into it and say, "Damn,
Yeah.
that tore me up."
Yeah. I could see that. Did you have a hard top, but you didn't, did it?
No, it was a soft top.
Soft top. The red one had it. Who ended up with the red one?
Jason Sears bought it.
Jason Sears bought it. Yeah, he made me he's got like you. He made me a hell of a picture frame made out of a Jeep hood that he made out of wood.
Cool, man.
Yeah, gave it to me for joy as hell.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah, I like old Sears, man. He's. I wish I was handy like that. I've got a welder. I know enough about stuff to make it a mess and get me in trouble.
Just enough to be dangerous.
Just enough
make
to
it a
be
mess.
dangerous. Yeah, I mean, like Chad had flat tires the other day, so I've got I got a big air compressor, and yeah, I mean, I think to myself all the time, like, man, I got that big old air compressor. All I really do is air up tires. You
can sell that and buy a pancake and be
be money ahead. Yeah, like I haven't got it. I don't know that I want to get into the mechanic stuff. Like, you have to really have a special place in your brain.
You do.
You have to be a special kind of person, I think, to dive into.
Well, I think you can really screw stuff up, man.
Not if you're him,
because
the way his brain works, he's super meticulous.
I'm saying, like, if you don't go in knowing, like, a little bit about this, a little bit about that, I mean, you're probably going to wind up spending more money fixing what you've damaged.
I put that CB in my Jeep this summer. Me and Dad did one night. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, Dad had CBs all his life. And I had them a good bit in the mines. That's how we talked back and forth. So I thought, hell, we can do this. Yeah. We hooked it all up, ran the coax and everything. Everything was good. And I needed it. I forget something. I wanted. I ran the wiring. I wanted H&K to Scotty. He's slicker than hell.
Yes, he is.
Man, he's good. And
he's quick.
And he's quick. I mean, I've been going to him for 25 years, and it's always been just top notch. I mean, that guy's just solid.
I've never been let down by his work. Me neither.
Great and stuff. I wanted him to mount it because I didn't want to jump into like that dash work and taking my dash out. And so I was real proud. I had that thing all wired up. It was working, And whenever I got back, he goes, "Hey, man," he goes, just do me a favor, would you?" And I said, "What's that?" And he goes, "Don't do any more wiring." he goes, "I went ahead and ran it all new for you and straightened it all up." But he's like, "You were that close to going through this," and he's like, "You would." And I was like, "You know what? You are right."
Yeah.
So you're saying is he saying your wiring job looked like a bowl of spaghetti?
Yeah, pretty much. And I would have thought I was pretty good. I would have thought
you were proud of it.
I was proud of it. I was like, "Hey, look here, buddy, it works."
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know where to start, so I'd probably just called him in the first place. Like, "Hey, dude, can you put this CB in there?" I
admire that though so much because it's that you guys that'll sit down and take time to do it. I feel like I've just been on the run all the time. I can't imagine taking 4 hours to like dive into a project. I mean, I've been trying to remodel my upstairs, and I mean, you'd have had that shit out in a weekend, and hell, I've been 4 weeks trying to get this just halfway done. It's
well, the thing that's cool about it, John, is like you're looking at a machine like that, and I mean, I know this probably isn't the reason that you got into it, but I mean, man, you look at that thing and you're kind of like, "Hey, this looks pretty good. I'd say people would buy this." I mean, you could turn that thing into a moneymaker, man.
It is.
I mean, that thing is. I mean, so it's you're kind of like, hey, it's something I enjoy doing.
It is.
And all of a sudden, man, making a little coin off of it, that's not really a bad trade-off,
Well, you got to have a hobby.
Well, yeah, you might as well. The hobbies I got cost me money. They don't make me any money, man.
Well, that's why I sold the Jeep.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen a Jeep yet that made you money.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, you've probably done all right on this.
Now, are you going to get another one though, man? For Jeeping season?
He's already got one.
Oh, you've already bought another.
He had
Jeep.
3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's down to 1.
Well, I can't take it away from my wife now. That's her Jeep.
That's her Jeep.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
her
that's
Jeep.
that's that new nice one there. Now, are you going to go get you an older one and fix it up or what?
I'm thinking of doing a 4-door.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of converting a 4-door over to what my last
Tell
one
him
was.
what you were really wanting to do, though. Chad will like that. What, the F-100s?
Okay, so lower an F100, chop the top.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
That'd be really cool. That'd look cool.
Yeah.
And not spray some clear over the patina and leave it. I mean, strip it down to bare metal. And
Oh, my.
Didn't Shane do that with that van or that box truck they've got? Didn't he strip that down, or that truck?
I think so.
Yeah, that truck. It looked cool.
Yeah.
Had the Browns lube and oil on the side of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was stripped down to bare metal. That stuff's cool as hell, man. I got into insuring those classics like that. And it's really cool to watch these classic cars and what they're doing, because, you know, they've already been restored, some of them now 2 and 3 times.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you're dealing with.
You're going over other people's work. That's the scary part.
Yeah. It's
You don't know what you're
some
getting
of them.
into.
Some
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
have. Some of them are all original. But I mean, you know, so I guess that's the thing. Like with metal, you know, tell me about metal. I don't know. I never did study really the science or the chemistry behind metal. Why are things metal versus wood? Because it seems like metal's going to rust.
Certain kinds will, yes.
Well, obviously aluminum won't.
Well, aluminum will oxidize to a point.
Does it weaken when it oxidizes?
And not particularly. It kind of protects it. So aluminum will oxidize on top. You know, it's not shiny.
Looks like rust.
Looks like rust. It's not pretty anymore. It's kind of scaly, but it usually stops there. Regular carbon steel will rust and just keep on rusting.
Give me
and
an
won't
example
stop.
of carbon steel. Metal horse trailer.
Metal horse trailer,
Metal
lawnmower
utility trailer,
blades,
lawnmower
utility
deck.
blades. Yeah.
So they'll rust and they won't stop rusting.
No, they won't stop rusting.
Okay, so what causes it to rust? I know moisture and I know all that, but what's actually causing that to, like, what is rusting doing? Is it like it's just disintegrating and weakening and it's eating
Yes.
it up?
Yes. It's just like a Jeep frame.
Yeah.
They start rusting mostly because it's
You won't stop it.
No, you won't stop it. It's a box frame. Stuff can't escape. Water can't freely run in and out. If it could more freely run out, you would
Like a
mitigate that.
dozer blade.
Yeah. Stays polished up if you keep using it, but it'll flash rust immediately.
Oh, over a weekend.
Good steel will flash rust immediately. Like an engine block, you clean that off, and it immediately flash rust right back.
Really? That means that's a sign of good metal?
High
good
carbon.
steel?
High carbon content, yes.
High carbon content.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying you don't let rust bother you in that situation?
What does, yeah, I got more questions.
Well, you just spray it down with like some WD-40 or something like that until you're going to put it back together, wipe all that down with acetone, and you're good to go.
Okay.
Then there's stainless, of course. Stainless is, just steel with nickel and cadmium, maybe a few other metals thrown in there. And then there's Corten steel. A good example of Corten steel would be like the New River Gorge Bridge.
Oh, okay.
Have you noticed they've never painted or sandblasted or anything like that?
Yeah, I noticed that. I was down there 2 years ago, and I was like, boy, that thing looks like hell.
It looks like hell, but that's only like 1/10 of a millimeter thick or something, that rust coating is, and it's back to good.
So it's basically a paint job.
It's a protective layer, yeah.
Yeah, it's a protective layer. So, but how long until it eats up into how? I mean, do they gauge that thickness, and then obviously there'll be a weak spot in there.
Well, it stops.
Oh, it stops.
From everything I've read about, once Corten steel oxidizes, that becomes a protective layer, and it's done. It stops.
So tell me about cast.
Cast iron?
Yeah.
Well, cast iron is iron. Steel is iron with the impurities blown out of it.
Okay, so steel is iron with the impurities blown out of it.
Yes. It'd still be Fe,
What's that?
iron.
Oh,
Fe
Fe,
would
oh,
be-
the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you still know that shit. You know, I have no reason to know that in the insurance
The
business.
man's in the metal business.
Yeah. Okay. So then steel is iron with the impurities blown out of it, and then stainless steel would be like with some additives. Then
Yes. It would be steel with it'd become an alloy is what it would become. An alloy is a metal that is made up of more than one element.
So like whenever they say alloy wheels, what do they mean?
Well, they're meaning aluminum with other things added to them to enhance the appearance or enhance the structural integrity of it of sorts, some way or another.
Something, either cosmetic or prosthetic,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. See how we think of them words.
Yeah.
So explain to me aluminum.
I don't do much aluminum work. I don't weld it.
But is it a steel with the impurities blown out of it? I mean, is it another step down, or is it just a totally separate? I think it'd probably be totally separate, wouldn't it?
Aluminum is aluminum, and steel is steel. They're different elements altogether.
Different elements. You're never going to take steel and turn it. There's nothing of steel that they melt down and turn into It's not a byproduct. It's not nothing.
No, it's mined separately.
How they do that?
I don't know. That's not my area.
Yeah.
I handle it from the wholesaler till it gets to my place.
Yeah.
And then out the door.
And you can do aluminum.
Yes, I can cut aluminum. Anything conductive I can cut.
Conductive. Explain this to me.
Anything that will conduct electricity. So
okay. Yeah.
copper, brass, bronze, stainless, aluminum.
You can cut.
Because it's an
steel.
electrical cutting process.
Yes. Yes.
So explain to me the plasma cutter then. Okay. So what is a plasma cutter? How does it cut then?
So a plasma cutter is not all that dissimilar from like an oxyacetylene torch.
Okay.
Being that it uses a hot gas of sorts to blow through metal.
What does it use? Acetylene?
No, it uses. So the setup I have, it's a smaller I have a light commercial or light industrial type table.
Okay.
And I use compressed air, just compressed air that you're breathing right now.
Yeah.
Along with electric. It superheats that somehow. I don't know the exact science of that, and converts it to a plasma jet. A plasma jet, which is 30,000 degrees, but it's focused down to a very fine nozzle.
So they take oxygen
Yes,
and
a lot of amps.
a lot of electricity,
Yes,
and they turn that into a plasma.
yes,
It's essentially electrifying the oxygen, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
basically setting that oxygen on fire at a rapid rate
yes,
Yes.
to create a cutter. Like,
yes.
So that's what kind of electric setup do you have to run that?
Just like it's a 2-pole 50 amp breaker is what it's running on. The machine puts out 45 amps, so 220,
Yeah. The machine puts out on the cut
45 amps of power.
45 amps of power. So you got to have it on a 50 amp breaker.
Yes. So it's like the same as a dryer plug-in, 50 amp.
Yeah.
Big
Well,
job for
what I'm
that.
saying is, not everybody's just going to take that home, plug that in. I mean, you got to have
Right.
50 amp breaker dedicated to that.
Dedicated just to that machine, yeah.
Yeah, you probably had to put in another service for that, didn't you?
No.
You didn't
No,
have a big enough
no,
box?
it's off of my existing 200 amp service. Actually running off of just an auxiliary cord that I have ran right now. So I have that. So it takes that 50 amp service to run it, and then there's then a computer that runs it, and it probably only pulls 3 or 4 amps
3 or
tops.
5 tops.
And then there's a control box or a CPU that runs the table, and that pulls electric. So there's 3 electric sources that we're dealing with.
So that's what's moving your product around.
Yes.
That would take some juice.
now, are you drawing your compressed air from just a plug-in air compressor that you have there, or are you buying tanks of compressed air?
No, the air I'm running is just off of a shop compressor, so that's just compressed air.
Yeah. Okay.
It runs at it's on a 60 amp breaker. It's a little bigger. It's a 160 gallon tank. It runs at
You solar in your house? What the hell you run your house on?
It's on another service. There's two.
that's
there's a separate service for the house and one for the
Oh,
garage.
okay. That's what I asked you if you had to put in another service. I was going to say, my God. Are you out there blowing on Susan's hair every morning? I'm like, how do you run your house?
Yeah. Can you imagine, man, that
No, the
the
garage
little
actually-
meter would be just spinning around like a helicopter?
God,
in
he's
there,
out
man.
here. He shuts down Ray whenever he pulls his.
Yep, John's working up there again. Yeah, everybody's lights are flickering. Yeah.
That's a big deal, man. I mean, that's if you don't have that. I mean, that's. you run into this type of stuff.
You do. You have to have a balance. If you don't have a balance,
yeah,
you're
you
gonna
have to,
mess
and you have to
something
be
up.
ready for that. Like you know, you just not. I mean, this is a plan. You're not. Don't do this if you don't plan on using it, because you probably had to put in a whole other service or for that, or if you didn't have it before, you would have.
I would have had to. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the amp draw of that, because the amp draw of the compressor.
And that right there will cost you $1,000
Yes.
just for the service.
Yeah.
If
So
not more.
So my wife reminds me all the time when the electric bills come in from AEP that
Your
the garage
garage is
is the
more than
garage
the
is at 150, 160% of what the house is. So
Yeah.
Just be like, well, wait till you start seeing the returns on this
Yeah,
machine.
yeah.
I mean, you know.
it's there. I mean, it pays
Yeah.
for itself.
Oh,
so
well, there you go then. Yeah, that's awesome.
You've already got it paying for itself.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man,
Shit,
that's sweet.
You've paid for your equipment.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Shit, you're doing all right. Then.
This guy doesn't just wade in anywhere, man. I mean, it's not like he went into this
He's
without a
the
plan.
handiest man I've ever met. In my
Oh,
entire life.
that's the way you introduced him to me.
Yeah,
this
me and
man
Eddie-
this man is handier than a shirt pocket. you
Me and
said.
Eddie deemed him that. Let me see that lighter. We deemed him that. Well, I don't know what it was, John. You did down there. You fixed something on the fly one time, and me and Eddie was like, "Son of a bitch."
I think I'm going to need that too. This little Bic isn't getting it.
Hey, we got to give a shout out. Congrats, Eddie. He's getting married.
Oh, Eddie's getting
Well,
married.
is that right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Somebody
Well,
didn't
Eddie.
even
congratulations, Ed.
He didn't tell me.
It's tremendous.
I had to hear about it from my wife.
Well, my God, the market's going to crash.
He's,
The most eligible bachelor in Ohio is now off the market, ladies.
he sent me a text. He said, don't be surprised if you don't hear a little whimper coming from Jackson County.
Oh yeah. Now he's got to hold up. He's got to hold up his end of the bargain. No more pictures without his shirt on.
Oh, well, he's in those
more.
fitness competitions.
Yeah.
You know that?
Oh,
No, I
no,
didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Man, where has he been? Like we haven't
In
heard
love.
this. I guess we got to get back to getting the Jeeps out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, he
and then
does this.
that's when we'll see him. You know,
He's been in love. I ain't seen him.
I thought it might be the winter or COVID or something like that, but
He is taking care of COVID because he's
okay.
mad, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad just got his shot the other day.
Yeah.
You had you had a shot yet?
No.
You
no,
going to
I
take
haven't.
it?
I'm still thinking about it.
I'm in.
You're in?
I'm in. Yep. I fought it. I mean, hey, here's the deal. Do I want to take it? No. Do I think that I need to take it? No. Should I take it? Yeah.
I mean, I get a flu shot every year.
I don't.
I'm thinking it's similar. You know, it's just preventive maintenance.
Preventive maintenance. Yeah, ain't nobody died from it that I know of.
Well,
Who knows? Jesus God, these son bitches anymore. Who knows what to think?
Yeah, I'll just be like I'll just be like a piece of a cow or
Yeah.
a sheep. Line me up,
Line me up.
line me up, bud.
Run me down the
Yep.
chutes.
Hit me with it. Yeah,
Hell, I took an allergy shot every day, or every week
yeah.
for years. So what's the difference? You know.
yeah. Well, I mean, look at me. Look what I put in my body. For
You know,
Christ's sake.
yeah.
I mean,
it's hard to say.
I don't take care of myself.
nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here. It can't be much worse than old George Dickel, right?
Cascade Hollow. Where are you selling your stuff on?
through Facebook and just word of mouth at the moment.
And you've already been that busy.
I haven't shipped anything yet, thank goodness.
You haven't shipped anything.
No,
So
I
it's all
haven't-
been pretty local then. Huh?
It has everything has been local, yes. And you'll see that in the price that I have on everything.
Okay.
A lot of
Yeah.
people have told me, well, you're not charging enough. Well, I don't have to.
Right. No, yeah.
I'm making money.
Yeah.
They're happy they got a good deal.
Yeah.
They
Well,
got a
and
good
you're trying to
product.
build the business. You're
Yeah.
trying to, figure out what it is,
Now, I will say something, though.
Uh-huh.
So a week before Christmas, I bought 6 sheets of 16 gauge steel, which is what I typically make my signs out of. It's thinner, it's light.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's no, that's 10 gauge. I actually went up since you guys are so hard on stuff around here.
Yeah. That we are. I mean,
How thick is 10 gauge?
It's right around 1/8 of an inch.
Eighth of an inch.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So a sheet, you buy that in a 4x8 sheet.
No,
10 by 10.
I buy 5 by 10.
where do you buy that, man?
There's a place in Chillicothe called Chillicothe Steel.
Okay. I
That's where I get all my metal exclusively.
okay.
It's a wholesaler. So
Okay. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
believe they
Does it go
deliver
up and
to
down?
3 or 4 states. They're
Wow.
big enough they do that.
Have they been pretty easy to deal with for you?
Oh, very well.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
very easy.
Does that price go up and down a good bit?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Before Christmas, a sheet of that was running $97 a sheet.
Okay.
Second week of January, it went up to $165 a sheet.
Shit.
Whoa.
I called 2 days ago and got a quote. It was $129 a sheet.
That's the fluctuation in it.
Yeah.
So the next time you hear it down around 95, you might want to stock up a little bit.
I'll
then.
buy
So
all
you're-
I can haul.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be crazy not to.
That's crazy. Did you see a big? I always heard, and I'm not getting political, but I always heard that Trump like put a big like tariff on China and made steel real hard to get. So how does that steel? Where's that steel coming from? Because we used to have steel mills.
Yes.
And we don't really have those anymore, do we? There's probably still some in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there
A
is.
few.
Well, I'll
Or
tell you what. I
Pennsylvania.
can order. Let's say I would call today at noon and put in an order. I could pick it up tomorrow up there at 8:00. So wherever it is, it's close. They get it very close, or it's a dedicated truck coming just to that place. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I
Well,
haven't asked
you
them
also
because I
have-
don't want to pry.
Yeah, you
because
also
they cut
have
me a good deal.
Yeah.
what's the big one over in Middletown? MK Steel, I think,
Okay.
or something like that, is in Ohio.
Now, is that a distributor or wholesaler?
No,
or-
that's a
mill.
That's a whole deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in Columbus, you got Worthington Steel that supplies for, God, I mean, a lot of the auto industry and everything, but they don't have a mill. They're like a distributor.
Okay.
So they might be running it down to a place like Chillicothe or something like that, but they'll sell direct to jobs and stuff
See
like that.
down there at Dad's plant. I don't know if you know this or not. You know down where AP Green.
Okay.
You know where it was.
Yeah.
I think. Don't
Yeah.
quote me on this. They made liners for those steel kilns that
Right.
they were doing.
Yep.
So like what do they do? Pour all that stuff in there. So like how's that? So whenever are they taking like old cars and like whenever you go to a scrapyard and they're separating all these metals, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like let's say down here at the local right across from you guys.
Okay.
Okay, so you take that. Let's say you take that person a car and you recycle it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what happens there? Do you know how that process goes?
So, to the best of my knowledge, how the process would go from a scrapyard to a finished product, like me buying steel.
Is that what they're doing now?
Well, what they're doing there, they collect it. They would collect the metal at a set rate.
Yeah.
They sell it to a place. It'd be similar to what Osco is. I
Okay.
mean, they're getting in steel that's been processed to a point,
Okay.
and then they have a big crucible that they dump all that into, and a crucible being just a big vessel, like a giant bucket
Just a giant kiln.
that would hold
Yeah.
10,000 gallons, we'll say,
Of-
of water. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they dump this in there, and 2 lances would come in. They drop those lances down in there, and it superheats it and melts it. And then
What's
they
a
would-
lance?
Oh, a lance would be what they would like the heating element.
Okay.
The heating
So they're not like a fire system.
No, it's not as efficient as what a lance would be. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're using that. So it's kind of like Osco, or not Osco. Shoot, what is out here? Iuchem.
Yeah.
You know how they'll run during the day, but at
They're
nighttime
24/7, 365.
they really run full bore at night.
Yeah.
Or they used to. That's what I remember of it anyway. They're drawing a lot of electric doing that. a tremendous amount of power doing
and
that.
people's electric usage is down at night, so that helps with the.
So it balances everything out.
Huh.
So I'm assuming a place like whoever's doing this or processing that steel, the mill, they pour it, then they would pour it out similar to what you would do if you were making, everybody's seen their grandma make noodles.
Yeah.
You know, you have a big mixing bowl, you pour it out, you start rolling it flat. Well, it's a machine that's, it's a refined process
Yeah.
that they're doing that. But it's, if you can
Yeah,
think
so
about
they're not taking it just out there and then dumping it over and pouring it out and cutting it. I mean, there's several probably things that has to do.
several processes and rollers and things it would go through to get varying thicknesses.
So is that how they're doing it? So does like the steel you're buying? Do you think that that's like recycled steel, or how do you know? Why don't I know this?
Well, steel is to my knowledge the same way as diamonds are today. A lot of diamonds are reused.
Yeah.
Did you know that about diamonds? You might
Yeah.
Say you go to A.L. Terry's or you go
Well, it's
to
a commodity, so wouldn't that be a...
You recycle it.
Yeah.
You take the gold off, you have the diamond, you resell the diamond. You clean it, you resell it. So it's not all that dissimilar from steel or anything else that you can reuse.
Huh. That's crazy. It's just look at the industry that all that creates. You know, you got everything from the the scrapyard on up through and then back to your table, and then sooner or later back to the scrapyard.
Yeah. Sooner or later, somebody may or may not get tired of a sign.
Yeah.
The local guy, hey, I scrap, and then they throw it in his pile, and he takes it in, and it becomes another sign, or it becomes a Jeep frame, or it becomes an overbuilt Yeti or something,
a bracket, or whatever,
anything metal,
anything metal. That's what's crazy about that whole deal. So, and you see that big of a fluctuation in the price. Wonder why it would go up and down like that, just based on supply and demand.
Yeah, probably.
Well, supply and demand, like you were talking, the tariffs.
Yeah. Did you see that? Were you in it whenever all that happened?
Not quite.
Not quite. I heard that like steel got really expensive for a while, because like metal roofs and that type of thing. Because what you were seeing, like I roofed my house in 2000 and when was that derecho? 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. I roofed my house at
and was it going for a pretty good rate then, or was it
in 2012? I think I had 5,000 in the whole deal.
So it was very affordable
Very
at that
affordable,
time.
Yeah.
If I was to do that now, I'd probably have around 12 or 13.
Have metal roofs going?
Seems to
way
have,
up,
wouldn't
really?
you say?
Yes.
Yeah, seems to have.
Yeah, metal has went up. It's not out of sight, but
It's not out of sight, and it's not out of sight. It's not bad, but it's went way up. It used to be a lot cheaper.
So what? Yeah. So what has scared me is I recently bidded another pavilion to build for somebody.
So what are you calling this pavilion? So you built this out. I've seen it. So what is that? A 38, 42? What is that?
The exterior dimensions of this pavilion are 44 by 24.
44 by 24.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 feet overhang all the way around, so it's 20 by 40. The posts are. Your usable space is 20 by 40. 2 feet overhang all the way around.
Open sides.
Open sides. Yeah. Built to the hilt. The neighbor guy said if
over-engineered
slightly, yeah. So instead of using 2x4s for trusses, I'm using 6x6s.
Oh my!
Looks really nice.
Yeah.
Chris Boyle.
Yeah.
He was there. He said it looks like something you'd find in a state park.
Yeah, it probably does. I mean, hey, it's like if there's a tornado, go and hang out underneath that thing.
Well, that's what the neighbor guy said. My neighbor Rich, he said, if I'm coming in here and getting up in these trusses, I'm going to be in good shape.
Are you doing that for the look, or are you doing that for the structure? I mean, everything.
It's both, yeah. It's a little overkill for the structure, but the look is what I'm after.
Now, does that drive the price up, John?
It does.
I mean, but you're paying for quality, right? I mean, that's
what you want. That's what you get.
Yeah.
So, So I have yet to.
Are you going to try to put together a package? I mean, that would have to be. I mean, you can't price that. You can't base that. You couldn't come out with like a set price for that because of the lumber and the way that things fluctuate.
Right.
But you could.
What kind of roofing material are you going to put on that?
It'll be steel as well.
Okay.
Steel metal, yeah.
Okay. Now, have you worked a lot with the metal roofing?
So I did a metal roof on that pavilion at my house.
Yeah.
And this pavilion here will have a metal roof as well. It's going to have the standing seam. We're going to purchase it from Higgins.
Oh yeah,
is what
we know Ben,
friend of the program.
Yeah, friend of the program.
That's good.
Yeah,
neighbor.
Yeah. He's right across, right through the wall.
Yeah, yes.
Saw him today. I think it was today. Was that today? I was texting you guys.
Yeah.
Huh. That I tell you, I think that's awesome, man. Like I think, I think you're in a pretty cool deal, like because you like doing it, and like you can,
I do, yeah.
Like I've seen what you've done. Like I've seen some of your work, like at Pavilion, and it's like I haven't seen it up close, but seen pictures, and it's like, shit, your stuff could come out of a magazine. I mean, you're that meticulous.
Well, have you seen so I put a fireplace on it as well.
Yeah, no, maybe I'm remembering. Maybe you told me about it. I don't know.
So if I can remember off the top of my head, the fireplace is 10 feet wide.
You showed it to me at the office the other day.
I
You
did, didn't I?
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep.
So the fireplace overall is 10 feet wide.
About the size, not too much bigger than that, or too much smaller than this wall right here. That wall's probably 14,
Okay.
if that.
So the actual firebox, I believe it's 36 inches wide by 2 feet tall. And we run that.
That's how big the firebox is.
Yeah, the firebox is. And I'd say 20 inches deep. It's.
Did you build the box?
No. No, I
bought
had
a
it.
box.
No, well, I had the box in the house. We wanted to get it out of there, so I just thought I'd repurpose it.
So it was a firebox in the house?
Yes, double insulated. And
Yep.
anyway, so I built the fire rail that went in it. So it's propane now. So it's a ventless.
Oh, you didn't do
ventless
a wood
type.
one.
No,
So-
I didn't do wood.
So it's
So I really like the wood.
Uh-huh.
I like the wood look. I like the wood appeal and everything.
The woodwork sucks.
Well, getting the wood.
I heat my house with wood.
Yeah,
I'm over it.
that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the propane. I mean, the hardest thing about it is calling R&J Gas up the road.
Yeah.
And saying I'm getting low. I need another tank.
Yeah.
And they know where to put it.
Yeah.
So when you're getting low, you just call them up and it's just there.
Yeah. You know, I the reason I haven't made the switch is because I have an electric furnace that we use to. They put my whenever they built my house, they put the vent in the ceiling, and I just can't. You know, I can't get the warmth out of it that I like.
Yeah.
And the wood heat just.
Oh, you can't beat that, man.
Man, my wife, whenever I get like on a snow day, I'll get home and my house will be anywhere from 78 to 83 degrees, and you could just sit down in a chair. The chairs are warm, and I mean, next thing you know, you're just asleep.
It
Yeah,
just melts
yeah.
you.
Oh yeah,
You get warm to the bone.
Yeah,
you do.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what I do. I get cold now, like, and I
Because you're used to that.
I'm used to that.
Yeah.
But, so the propane I think would definitely be easier. Definitely, you're going to get more use out of it.
Yeah. You walk up to it
And do it.
You turn a key, light it,
And
it's
there
on.
it is. Yeah.
You want it off, you turn it off, and you're done.
We bought children for the bar.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah. Forgot about that. And those are cool.
Yeah.
You know, compared to
No, I didn't buy that, or I didn't make that.
Yeah, I know.
bought it.
I know. But what I'm saying is, okay, so I'm the guy on the back porch that has a true fire pit.
Yeah.
You know, on the back porch, and I got like 4 of them on my property, fire pits, and it's like, man, that was kind of nice just to walk out there and hit that red button and turn the gas on.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've got flame.
That's nice.
Yeah, rather than worrying about running out there and get, you know. But I like a good fire.
Yeah.
You know. So you didn't have to vent that at all.
No, it just comes out the front,
So it's just going to burn it
like a ventless wall
Yeah.
heater, sort of. Yeah.
See, yeah. But those still got to have some sort of, like, not the ventless wall heaters, but like the ventless or the propane fireplaces. Those need some sort of vent.
Some, but not exactly a chimney.
Yeah, yeah, just something.
Like with these pavilions you're building, how long will it take you to build that, John? I mean,
Yeah, nice. Probably do it in a weekend.
Well, you would think. So the brackets, you know, you got to start out with, what do you want? How big do you want it? What style of truss do you want? What's our finish going to be? And then we go off of that.
Finish as in,
Well, how do you want your trusses? Do you want them timber framed and notched, like old timber,
Like old,
timber
yeah.
notching? Yeah. You go into some of the old barns around here. They've been mortised out, mortise and tenon joinery with peg holding everything.
you can do
together.
that.
I don't want to, but I can.
I was to say that you talk about
I don't want to.
That's very
Yes.
that's very labor intensive.
Yes,
very.
I have done it, and I know how to do it. I don't want to do it.
okay.
You talk about it. I mean, that shit has to
my.
be precise.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
Precise.
I have a machine for that too, so I did retain that.
Okay, so you got that option on the trusses, and then what's the other
You
option?
can do the brackets probably, right?
You can do the brackets, yes.
Which is what where you
Yeah,
build
so-
them and then, you split you
I'll cut those out.
yeah.
I'll design those.
What do they
so-
call that? It's not called a bracket. It's called a
timber plate.
plate.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a yeah.
I call them brackets. Some people call them
Sure.
timber plates, but I mean, there's different ways to do it. So there's an office here in town, well, just outside of town. They have some open frame log looking inside of log timbers or log trusses inside, and their brackets are like 1/8 of an inch thick, and that's perfectly okay because the brackets were put there just for like a decorative look. To get that look. Now, the way I'm building, I'm using the brackets as a structural part of it, so they have to be a little thicker.
There have to be, yeah.
So structural will be at a minimum of a 1/4 inch thick. No more than
It's a niche. It's you've carved out a. Carved out's the wrong word to use in this woodworking stuff, but you've figured out another angle to this, and that's do this plating, but use it.
Yeah, use it.
Yeah,
actually make it worth something.
You think, and your theory is that it makes it just as strong.
It is just.
Are you notching those trusses?
No.
You're just you're plump. You're flushing them up, and then putting that plate on there. Is that how you build it? The
plate goes on, and then it's through bolted to the other side where there's another plate, so it's coming together, and
then at the bottom too. So top and bottom all the way through.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody's seen trusses and how they have those bead-in plates. Well, instead of having those type of plates, these plates lay on the top.
Yeah.
And then they're through bolted to the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, these pavilions will be standing there 100 years from now, man.
I
mean, really, yeah.
It's either treated lumber or painted steel. So
I mean,
what else?
There's not a lot of wear and tear. No. I mean,
and they're under roof.
Yeah.
Huh. That's crazy stuff, man.
So there's a lot of stuff in building you see in houses. They'll go with the flush look where the roof doesn't overhang at all.
Yeah,
have you seen that?
Yeah. Well, it's like, why?
You've seen these old houses. I used to live in a farmhouse out on Raysville Road, and I think the overhang on that roof was like 3 feet, and it had wood siding that was original from 1890 or 1893.
No chance of it getting wet.
No. So you build in your protection. Let that slate and that tin take the beating, and everything else is protected.
I thought it was cool how you guys were doing. You and your wife were doing the. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is kind of how people see this. But, you're kind of the guy that comes in with the ideas, and then she goes and sells it.
More or less.
Pretty much. I mean, because you haven't really, you've got your real estate license, and you've sold some houses, but you guys kind of work as like a team, don't you? I mean, yeah. So that's cool. So tell me about that. How are you guys doing that?
Well, right now my wife is, she's doing the real estate as, part-time. She's a full-time CPA, so she's pretty busy right now. So I've retained my license more or less to help her during this time of year and sell land. I like houses, but I'd rather sell land. I don't mind walking a 150-acre parcel.
That's your thing.
200
You're out,
acre.
And you can see stuff in there like you could go through there and talk about timber.
Yes. Talk about the timber. What'd be a good building site.
Yeah.
What may or may not work if you're going to put a leaching system in, or what might save you a little money in putting in a driveway. Don't do it there. Do it over here. It'll help you out.
Man, I tell you what, man. When I bought my house, I learned some good hard lessons. And I bought a house. I bought a house that had never been lived in, like it was brand new.
That house was an interesting find.
You found it for me.
Well, I was out there selling insurance. You drove by it, and I was like,
me and Chad was working together.
Yeah, and I knew you were looking.
And I was looking for a house.
Yeah.
And Chad said, "Hey man," he said, "have you been out?" And you said, "Airport Road or whatever."
Yeah,
And I said, "No." And I had seen that house though.
Really? Like, I think it had been there a minute.
It had been there at that time a year and a half.
Was it for sale by the owner? Like, nobody had ever lived in it, had they?
No,
the bank owned it.
The bank owned it.
Okay.
And somebody built it and lost it. And somebody built it, and I think somebody lived there for 6 months and never made a payment or something, or bought it and never moved there. Like,
it looked like nobody ever lived
there.
There
was nothing, as far as like it was all finished. Somebody at one time told me that like how they had like cut the back out of it or something, like it at one time it wasn't finished, or whoever had left there had taken the French doors, and you know how they leave those things.
When the bank takes it back like that.
Yeah, so whenever we got it, it was pretty well. I mean, it was finished and brand new.
Yeah,
and it was only a year old anyway.
Yeah,
but like I learned like on that house, like where this is a virgin property. Okay, so this is previous farmland that we've now we're residing on.
Yeah.
You're making backyards, not garden,
pasture.
not
Yeah.
pasture. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of parceled off.
Yeah, they parceled off the frontage, and yeah,
Yeah.
and you learn a lot about how like water runs and like where things are going to give you trouble, and like whenever I built my barn, now I've since fixed it, but like whenever I first built it, I didn't raise it up high enough, didn't drain it properly around it.
Okay.
Ended up my stalls was wet. Well, a couple of years ago, me and Dad just totally redid the flooring, put in all new drains. It's been dry as a pin ever since.
Right.
But it just little stuff that you have to kind of.
Well, do you think that the guy that built that house, did he take a lot of time to study that, or did he just throw the house up and you've had to kind of do a lot of stuff since?
Yeah.
Like he did not pay attention to that sort of detail.
Yeah.
I mean, the house itself, he didn't cut corners on. I mean,
yeah, we've had to fix a lot of the stuff, but yeah, I mean, and we're at that 10-year point where
I have that anyway.
You're
dude.
gonna have that anyway.
Yeah.
There's some drywall stuff that's where that house was new. It's
Starting to settle.
And it happens. Yeah, it just
Houses move.
Houses move. Yeah, Earth moves.
Yeah.
The Earth is moving.
Anything man-made can and will fail you eventually.
Yeah. Does that thing have a crawl space or a basement in it, or a crawl space?
Big one. Yeah. Yeah, and so we're like at the point, man. We've been talking about it now for a while, but real estate wise, with me, it's a little bit different. With having horses and stuff, it's I can't just go anywhere.
Yeah.
As long as I'm in that game, and which I'm getting ready to get back in it. I think I'm gonna try.
Well, and heck, man, you've kind of got that place dialed into just how you want it.
How I like it.
I mean,
there's already now some fence needs replaced.
Sure. But, like, think of the work you've done out there, man.
Sure.
Barns, fencing.
Yeah,
I mean,
all that stuff.
And
but I was telling Mindy, it's like man, you can right now we could add on. But I can't. I'm not like you. I can't see what to do. I wish that I had that.
bring that man out there and let him walk through your house.
I just need you to just go out there and say, this is what I would do. Because I want to make it like, for next to nothing.
How many square feet are you wanting to add, dude?
I don't know. And I mean, there again, you get into useful space as aside to just space. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what are you wanting to accomplish with it?
That's what I told her. I'm like,
Okay.
what are we trying to accomplish? You want
Like,
a bigger living room?
Yeah, you want a man cave? You want a, playroom?
I don't see that stuff. I'm good, like in nothing. Like I don't. As long as I got a place to kind of.
Yeah, what I'm good at is walking me through a house, okay, and then I say, "Ooh, I like this one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't I'm not the guy that's going to sit there and be like, "Man, no, I'll tell you, if we could blow this wall out."
Him and
do
Susan
this."
work good like that.
Yeah,
you guys do pretty well like that.
Okay, so that's kind of the burden here when you're a real estate agent.
Okay.
You're always comparing what you live in to what's out there.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
You're
you're
always
seeing a
looking.
lot of it.
So if you're not careful, you're going to turn into a gypsy.
Yeah.
You're a real estate agent.
Well, you guys have been out there, what, 2 years?
Two and a half years. Yeah.
Two and a half years. You've built this pavilion. You've put in another building to store stuff in. You've got the place where
Sectioned off the garage to
Sectioned
have,
off-
have an office,
Yeah.
and, bathroom and all that.
and so you've done all this work in 2.5 years, and now you're already talking about selling your place and buying another.
Well, everything's for sale, right?
yeah. No, that's a great point, though.
So we showed
because,
this
I mean,
property.
Yeah.
You
we,
what?
we, the house we live in now, we showed this property. We weren't interested in buying it. We weren't looking. And I said, hey, this is kind of a nice place.
What made you pull the trigger? I'm a guy that gets settled in. Like I've only probably lived in 4 or 5 houses my whole life.
Yeah.
If that. But probably that. And I just, man, like to me, like I just don't see myself moving. Like, but I think money wise, it's the best play you can do is flip your house.
It is.
You can't go wrong with it.
No. So when we showed the house, we looked at it. Oh, this is a nice place, big garage and big house, and we like it. So we left. We showed it again, and I'm there looking at it again, thinking, damn, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
And then I start looking at the house square footage and looking at the garage square footage, And the garage is actually bigger than the damn house.
It was a nice garage. Yeah. And in town, you were stuck. You
Yeah, we run out of real estate.
you run it. Yeah, you had a trailer, and I don't know, you probably still do. But I mean, you was getting to the point where you was taking up every inch
of
that
I
lot.
had. Yeah.
I remember that. I drove by like,
Well,
a couple trailers back there. He's
What's
had to
funny
widen
is
out that driveway.
John's a guy. I can just see it now, just from just talking to you. This thing, like the fact that the garage had more square feet than the house is probably something that really charged you up a little bit.
It is.
Man.
Well,
yeah.
So things went on. It went
Yeah,
a month
yeah.
or two, and I thought, hey, why don't we go out there and look at that place on Bronx Corner again? She said, why, you got somebody interested? I said, yeah, me. So we looked at it. She looked at it, and we liked it.
Now, prior to you saying that, had she liked it yet, or had she not even been looking at it that way?
She hadn't really been looking at it that way.
Yeah.
No, you're used to it. What's she think of living that far out?
It's
That's
great.
pretty far out.
Well, it's not. It is, but it isn't. So used to I had a 4-minute drive to work. Now I have a 15-minute drive to work.
Yeah, and that's a good where you work in conjunction with that, and the highway works well.
Yes.
Well, and the key is, like, if I understand correctly, you're not that far off the highway.
No.
So, like, and once you get to the highway, I mean,
You can jet to
shot.
you
You
can
know.
jet to Jackson in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You can be at Menards and Chillicothe in 17.
yeah, right. So, I mean, you're kind of right there in the middle, and you're not far from the highway. So, like,
And
you
you're
know,
giving up, 20 minutes.
yeah, that's not
to
that.
do-
I mean, that's really not very bad, dude. People that live in Columbus,
Oh, yeah.
in the suburbs, hell, they're commuting a half hour to an hour a day.
My sister,
I mean,
just works right down the road, no different than what our wives drive to work. And
Yeah.
it takes her like 45 minutes to an hour.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like,
So, I mean,
yeah. But that now people say the same thing about out where I live, and I'm trying to take this new outlook on Jackson and where I live.
Okay.
I'm trying to take this outlook of, like I'm at the point in life where like I really like going home, and I like living. I love living in Southern Ohio. I think there's some beautiful country here, and love doing it. And I'm trying not to maybe pay attention as much to the minutia, and just kind of enjoy living here.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
And to live out in an area like I like going out in the country. I like being 10 minutes out of town.
Yes. Yeah.
No more. But I'm like you. I'm kind of right in the middle of Jackson and Oak Hill. I can be in one just same as I can the other. But it's almost like going out that far. Now, don't get me wrong. It's got its disadvantages.
It does.
But I once I'm out there, I'm really cool.
well, I think that you've got to be a little bit more prepared when you live out there, because like when I lived out there in Franklin Valley, lived out there and dude, that's the first time I've ever lived out, and I don't know that I adapted to it. What I did not like was the mowing and weed eating.
You didn't like the outdoor
the
part
upkeep.
of it. Yeah.
Because
it's different. You don't go buy a Walmart mower. You got to go buy like.
No, hell, I thought I was doing.
Ferris or a cupcake.
I thought I was doing the right thing. I went to Lowe's and I bought like a tractor. Listened to the Jimmy there. He's asking me how big my how big my yard is. Are there any hills? He's like, well, right there's the tractor you need, man. I got me a nice, Troy build or something. I don't know what the hell it was. It was red.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then I bring it home and like my father-in-law's like, well, goddamn, Chad, I thought you was going to buy a mower. And I'm like, well, I mean,
I thought I did.
well, I did. I mean, hell.
Did you leave it out there whenever you moved?
I gave it to Curtis.
Did you?
Yeah. His had broke down, and I moved there into West Lawn, which that's a small yard, and then I was traveling all the time, and it went one cycle where my grass got high. And it looked like shit, and there was some internal strife. So I called my boy Cheese, and that problem's been solved ever since.
I don't.
Cost me less than $100 a month.
Do you cut your grass?
Yeah.
I quit cutting mine.
It's like an hour and 40 minutes.
Mine was 2 hours, and I had enough.
Well, see, I didn't have enough tractor, dude. Like it was mine. It would wind up taking me 2 hours to do that, and then the weed eating. I got me too small a weed eater to start.
No, I don't weed eat.
You round up.
Well, I round up mostly everything.
I was about ready
But
to pour.
the road frontage, I weed eat once every couple of weeks. It's not bad.
See, I was about
I got
ready.
sun. Like his son's 13 now.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's your weed eater.
That works.
There's your weed eater. There's your weed eater.
I never thought I would enjoy that so much. I'm on the mower, and I see him down there weed eating. I'm like, get her done.
Yeah.
We're all in this together, man. Hey, home team.
Yeah.
There we go.
Man, I remember I did that, and Dad would always give me a beer. He'd let me try one.
Yeah, take you a sip, son.
We'd get done. And
Nothing like mowing the yard and having a few suds.
He used to always say, I can still remember this. And I can remember the way that they taste. And I don't know that I've had one that tasted as good ever since.
Oh,
but whatever you'd get done
when you first get that
he'd say, you know what I like after a good hot day of mowing grass? Ain't nothing better than just an ice cold beer.
Yeah.
And
I bet you bought into that.
Oh, and I can remember he'd pop. It was Bud Lights. It was that was the silver can.
Oh yeah,
and he'd say, "Here, get you a sip of that." And I can remember tasting that Bud Light and being like, "You're right." Dad.
Makes me feel like a man. Makes me feel like a man. Yeah. Yeah, but no, I'll tell you, man, I've never been happier than having Cheese and those guys do it. Because first of all, they do a great job.
Yeah.
And they are in and out of there in literally 20 minutes. Yeah. They mow like almost every yard on West Lawn.
Yeah.
So like
they just park down the
there's
street.
3 or 4, and like they're mowing them all at the same time. They might be weed eating over here, and this guy's doing that. Yeah. And I mean, it's in and out. I mean, generally I'm not home when they do it.
I got to the point where I needed to buy a mower.
Yeah,
I went through one zero turn. There again, I bought the Tractor Supply version.
Yeah,
and I probably should have went straight to a tractor dealership and bought me a commercial grade zero turn or something, and then I'd have been fine.
Well, if I'm ever in the mower buying business again, I will spend the money on the front end to buy like a Cub Cadet or
I was Cub Cadet. It just wasn't a real one.
Oh,
it was one of them DSC versions.
It didn't come from there.
I don't care what the hell they say. That's not the real.
No. So
that's a sticker.
Everybody know Chuck Hopper out at Reeser Equipment.
Oh yeah,
you know where that's at.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have one of them Lowe's mowers.
Yeah.
I don't want to say which one, but it was a Lowe's mower.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to offend anybody here, bud.
Yeah. So I have one of those Lowe's mowers.
Yeah.
I said, Chuck, bud. I said it's rated for an acre. He said, "What, John? What they don't tell you is that's an acre per lifetime. That's not per mow."
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
After about 3 mows, I was, it was about 3.
Mine
or 4
shot.
acres.
I've had I mowed probably 3 acres with it, and mine shot after 7 years.
Well, mine, that one I had, like I beat it up
Jesus
in 3
Christ,
years.
I can remember Dad and them guys keeping them mowers for 30 years. I mean, them old Craftsman riding mowers. I mean, them things was just, I mean, they get forever out of
stuff.
Yeah.
They everything's built now to fail. It's built to fail.
Yeah, they don't want you having it 10 years.
No.
Did you ever look into like them little mini compact tractors?
I have, but I mean, that's the only thing I would use it for.
I ran one time. And
I might put 2 hours on it a year.
Well, I bush hog some. I got a 50 horse Ford. And, so bush hog, and I can run an 8-foot bush hog on it. And but I looked at one time about getting one of those compact deals that has the hoe and had the post hole digger, auger.
One of those Kubotas, or what kind were you looking?
Everybody's got one now. And then I ran one, and I dug a French drain with one time, and I was like, nah, I ain't trying to mow my grass.
No.
Bush hog this. I'm gonna put that thing in high gear, and I'm gonna get some bush hogging done with a big tractor.
Well, I have a Ferris now.
Tractor.
Yeah, well, it's a Ferris zero
turn. Those are good.
Yeah, it's full suspension.
Yeah,
coil-over suspension all the way around.
Yeah,
and
you're mowing a good bit.
It's like 3.5, 4 acres.
Yeah,
it's like an hour and 40 minutes.
I don't mind paying it. I ain't doing it. I hate it. I hate mowing grass. I always have. I hate it. I absolutely despise.
Well, and
grass.
that's another thing. And I don't know when I developed this, man, but like I noticed it big time out there on Franklin Valley.
Yeah.
And then as I came in, I didn't think I ever had a grass allergy before. But like, my God, man, I mean, my eyes would be watering, my nose is running. I come in, my legs are broken out after I get done weed eating. I'm like,
you just trying to keep your house nice.
Well, and my wife was looking at me like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
I hate this.
Yeah.
Like I will get the hell out of this house because of this.
I told you, old Jason Snyder always told me, he said, you show me a man with a striped lawn and I'll show you a man with his priorities out of line.
Well, I tell you, I stripe mine.
Do you?
But it's full tilt.
Is it?
It's all she's got.
I can't.
Well, I'm not surprised that you could do it, John. You could do it. Like what would take you an hour and a half to do would take me about 8 hours to do, probably. I just am not inclined. I mean, dude, now I finally got comfortable on that tractor, and I was running that thing down the hill in the back. I mean, kicking up dust all over the place. And, like, I think my neighbors were watching, like, what is this guy doing? It's like, there's Chad out there toiling around in his, like everybody always said, hey, man, I like to just sit on the tractor and drink a beer and do that. I'm like, dude, when I'm mowing, like, on that tractor, it's physical. There's no way. Like, I couldn't keep a damn beer. I had both hands on the wheel, cranking that son of a bitch as hard as I could.
Zero turns. You can't drink no beer on the
No. Well, I found out what you got to do with those.
Helmet.
I had a tractor.
A helmet.
Beer helmet.
I had a tractor before, and it took so long with that little bastard that I was about slammed when I was done. It took so long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now with the zero turn, you got to tank up before.
Yeah.
And stop halfway and get one.
Yeah.
And then keep on.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
yeah.
There's a technique to it.
Pre-game.
Yeah.
Get into
Get
it.
yourself ready.
Well, how do you have what time do you get off work?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. See, that's where you got that. See,
We start early though.
You do. In your defense, you start early. I will.
So then, like, what time are you starting the mow, or do you do out on the weekends? Is that a weekend activity?
That's just whenever I get time.
Okay, so you might on a Tuesday night just go.
That might, yeah.
And be like, all right, man, I'm gonna get 2
My
or 3
theory
beers
is-
pregame. Here we go.
How are you, Tyler? I bet Tyler has a specific day of the week, and I bet if it's not done by that day, you shit down your leg.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah. I'm past the point of giving a damn.
I can't eat it, and that's my theory. I can't eat it, so
Yeah.
and it's not gonna eat me. So I'm
No,
not
it's not.
worried about
No, it's not. Yeah, I mean, and dude, now that I've third-partied that,
Yeah.
I don't know that I could think about it less.
I
I
don't
thought
even have to think about it.
Oh, I'm tickled
I
to
thought
death.
about it.
I mean, I'm tickled to
You
death.
should.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
have
tickled
somebody
to
do
death
that.
with it.
Well, you can either third party it, or you can get like one of those robot mowers. You seen those?
Well,
I've
it's
seen
like
those.
a damn Roomba.
It is.
Th-
But it'll mow
now,
your
do those?
yard.
Do you think those things work, though, man?
see,
Did they
I
just
got-
run all the time?
I got a creek.
I mean,
that son of a bitch would be down there in the creek.
floating in it.
You know, that's, my dog would attack it or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Horses would step on it.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about that when I lived here in town.
Uh-huh.
Thought about getting one, but it's like 15 minutes and I'm done with a pusher anyway.
Yeah.
When I lived in town, it was 4 swipes around the place.
Or
Yeah.
run out in the damn road. and
I mean,
get run
you know,
over.
it is bad. Like if I was ever going to hire it out, I should have done it when I had that big yard. I mean, this one that I got now, I mean, it's really not worth hiring it out. But now, I mean, it's just become so easy
Yeah.
that, I mean, shit. I mean,
Yeah.
and he does such a much better job than what I would do on it.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, like, I can be like, hey, man, can you guys knock down those bushes too? Maybe trim that up a little bit, do this, do that. I mean, hey, boom, done.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, they do a good job. They clean everything up.
Yeah. You ain't got to touch it.
No. And if I start doing it again, I'd start getting criticized. You know, not by my wife. She doesn't give a damn. But, like,
Yeah.
you know, there's people who drive by, oh, hey, what the hell happened to your yard? You know.
Yeah. Hey, Chad, you did borrow my mower?
Yeah. Nope.
Well, it's like Chuck out there. He told me something. He said, John, you can't beat a man at his own game. You can't. You sell insurance. I have no clue.
Yeah.
You sell medical supplies.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
Can you guys know how to trim trees or cut metal?
Hell no. That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I know. Yeah. You're
You
right.
can't do it all.
That's a good take. You can't beat a man at his own game. Yeah.
I was telling you guys a little bit about that before right whenever I got here tonight.
Yeah.
I have had some life-changing epiphanies, boys.
Yes.
I can't do it all. I'm going to go sell insurance.
Yeah. Well, and you know what, man? There's something to be said for that, man. That's a great take.
Yeah.
You know, man, focus on your strengths.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Why push something uphill?
I just had this.
At our age.
This conversation with a guy last night. That we were talking about, and he had a dozen things going on, and I said, "Man, I'm getting to that point where I said I'm going to focus in on one thing." And I said, I've just realized that I think that there's something to be said. And this is the magic question that that a lot of guys ask themselves. You're kind of there. You're kind of there.
Yeah.
Tyler's kind of there. Is do you try to get involved? I mean, so here you are. You got your main job. Your 40-hour-a-week job. Which is a skilled job.
That pays the bills, and that takes precedence over everything. Every time.
It has to.
Every time.
Right? Yeah.
That it has to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now you've got your real estate. Now you've got your plasma. Your Bronx Metal Worx, right?
Bronx Metal Worx. Yeah.
So now you got that.
And those are all side hustles.
And it's
That's
all
they are.
That's their side hustles. And the question is, does a man keep doing? I mean, how many side hustles do you allow yourself to get in before you realize that you're not effective at any of them?
Well, I just stay with the one. I stay with Bronx Metal Worx, and the real estate. I retain my license only to help my wife, and that's it.
Right.
So whatever you say, you help your wife. If somebody wants to look at some land, you'll take them out there.
I'll take them out there. She'll take care of the paperwork. That's what she does.
Perfect scenario.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, because John,
She's in front of a computer all day.
Yeah.
She can do
well, and you're doing what you enjoy doing there.
Yeah.
And that's not really monopolizing a ton of your time doing that. I mean, you get a good return on that walk around the land and telling people.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds to me like you're working smart too, man. Like, you've got, you got your regular gig.
Yes.
That pays the bills. But then you're kind of slowly building these other ones that, it's not like it's killing you to do it.
No.
Like, it seems to me like kind of a labor of passion.
Yeah.
You enjoy doing it, know. And I mean, that's the key. Like, dude, this sounds kind of crazy, but like, Pudge, we got our jobs that pay the bills, and then we come up and do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know whether this is a job or not, but I mean, I sure do. I sure do enjoy doing it.
Me too.
And like you start carving out. Okay, what's important, what's not, what is there time for? Well, here we sit.
Exactly.
You're having fun, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean,
I did that to myself, like in the music business, though, and I made it a business, and I wish that I would have probably just kept that a hobby, but it still is.
Yeah.
But like I had a lot of fun whenever it was a business, but I mean there was a lot of times that it wasn't fun. A hobby's typically always fun.
Well, like when it becomes a grind, like when there's a day when you're just like, man, I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive to Logan and play. Or I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
Sure, yeah.
I don't want to do that tonight. That's when it's kind of like, all right, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you need to step back and prioritize.
Right. Like, yeah, if you're ever walking into your garage like, I gotta go out there again.
I don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So I learned this a long time ago.
Okay.
I'm into shooting. I like shooting guns.
I didn't know that till the other day. You and I were talking about that.
Yeah. Well, I was
like, this guy, here's another interesting.
Yeah, we got to go there. He was telling me a little bit about this beforehand.
So I was Washington Courthouse. There was a gun shop up there. It may still be there. I think it was Bottom Dollar Gun Shop or something like that. Guy run it, talked to me. He was telling me all about the gun I was after. It was a used gun. It was a Kimber. Built on a 1911 frame, 45. Stainless target. I loved it. Well, I traded a Springfield I had just because I was after a different gun. It wasn't that I hated the Springfield. I just wanted a different one. And one thing led to another, and we were talking this and that. And he said, don't ever, ever make your hobby your job because you won't love it anymore.
Yeah.
You take whatever you love to do, don't ever make that your source of income.
Yeah.
Because you won't like doing it anymore.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's a good take. I mean, because
I like trimming trees.
Right.
I stay with that. I like being outside.
Right.
I don't mind it being. So nobody likes the cold.
Hold on a second.
I don't care. Yeah. So a lot of people don't like the cold. I love it. I despise anything below like 10 degrees. That's kind of cold. Mm-hmm. But I despise 85 and up. I hate it.
So you kind of like this time of year.
Yeah, it's great. I love the winter, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever trim trees on the side?
No.
Okay. No. you're not doing that.
No,
like I can't call you up like, hey John, I got a tree I'd like dropped.
So a long time ago when I got into real estate, I sold a couple of chainsaws, bought a laptop, Love it ever since. A lot less sweat.
Okay. Yes.
You worked for Kincaid.
I did.
Yeah.
I worked for him. So I've had 3 jobs in my life, really. I started out with Kincaid when I was in high school. So after school and on the weekends when I was 16.
Hard ass work. Hard, isn't it?
buddy.
It
That's
is,
hard
yeah.
ass work. I don't get
Yeah.
to do any of this.
It
It's
is,
hard
dude.
work.
So off and on with him for 14 years. So in that 14 years, I worked for Nelson Tree Service.
Oh, yeah.
410s.
Did you work with Mindy's Uncle Dave Ison?
It did. Iceman.
Yeah.
Lives down in Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him
That's
forever.
Mindy's uncle. He's in Saudi Arabia.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He,
Jet engine mechanic.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. He good guy. I want to get him on the show.
Dave is. I can't wait to see him again. I haven't seen him.
I didn't know
forever.
you worked with him.
Yeah.
Y'all, one of my favorites.
I went down and showed. I can't remember his wife's name now.
Jana.
Jana, not Gina.
Jana.
Jana. Yes.
Yeah.
I give her a little how-to and showed her some ins and outs of pistol shooting, concealed carry, and all that.
Oh,
Quite
okay.
a few years ago.
I didn't know that. Yeah. The Dave's a good one. Did you know he was I think on like the Air Force. I know he was on the Air Force golf team,
Okay.
and then he was also on the Air Force traveling ping pong team.
I didn't know anything about ping pong.
oh,
I knew
boy,
he was a
kid.
big golf. I knew
Forrest
he was into
Gump.
golf.
Oh, old boy can he
Well,
can bring her in
dude,
from
those
the Brooklyn
Isons, dude.
side.
Hey, dude.
When it comes to
Hey, when those Isons, when you talk about lifetime sports,
yeah,
okay, golf, ping pong, pool,
Cards.
I've seen them play pool up there at the Elks.
yeah.
Bowling, I imagine. I've never seen them bowl, but I bet they're awesome. Shuffleboard, darts. I bet they're incredible.
I'm telling you,
I'd
they
never
have a gift.
play poker with them ever.
No,
I mean,
don't do it.
a lifetime. I mean, if it comes to lifetime sports,
They can't be beat.
those Ison gentlemen
Yeah.
are unbelievable.
They used to spend
Nicest
their,
dudes you ever want to meet too, man. They come in, they smile
they
at
are.
you, and just take every penny out of your wallet and something like that.
Cleans
you know?
you out.
Oh, they will. I mean, you know.
They are freakishly good golfers.
Oh, is Dave as good as?
Oh yeah,
He's as good as.
yeah.
You're kidding.
No,
Like
no,
Doug,
he's good.
boy. Now the two of them, I can't imagine. I bet there's some competition when they get on the
they're
golf
usually on
course.
the same team.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Thank goodness.
They usually go and they. I mean, you know, and everybody knows them, you know, but they play in several tournaments together.
So Dave can hold his own with Doug.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, if he would have played in as many, I'd say the tournament, the Franklin Valley Open records would be neck and neck if he played as much as Doug.
Also, they're pretty.
Doug's
pretty-
probably better.
He's just played more, maybe.
Well, and he's yeah. I mean, Dave will put it down. I mean, like, you know, he's.
I'm just
overseas.
saying it. Just an observation. I don't know either one of them great. I feel like I'm friendly with both of them, and like
Sure.
we hung out with them a bunch up there at the Elks earlier. But like I remember them two show up for like the pool tournament or something.
And they're the best in the room.
Oh my God!
They're freaks about that.
I mean, just like I said, lifetime sports. I'll take an Ison. Blind. I don't care. I mean, okay. Oh, you guys are doing bowling? Okay. Oh, you're doing lawn darts. I got the Ison boys. yeah.
That's truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Cornhole. I bet they're phenomenal.
I've played some cornhole with them. Yeah, I've played. I'm telling you, they are there.
Well, we're looking for a dart team. Well, I'm on the Ison's team. Let's bet $100.
So you went from Nelson's to the city.
No, we're from Nelson's to. So I worked for Kincaid full time.
Yep.
And then to Nelson's, along with working with Kincaid part time. Just so we worked 410s at Nelson's, so I had a little bit of time left over.
Yeah.
So work with him on the weekends.
Yeah.
Left Nelson's completely.
I wish you weren't such a lazy ass, John.
Left Nelson's completely. Went with Kincaid. Finished, a few years full time there, and then went to the city. So this April I'll be at the city 5 years.
So I got to tell you this, John. When I was when I graduated from high school and was in college, I worked for the electric department as summer help.
Okay.
So I was with the tree trimming crew. I was the ground guy that ran the chipper.
And you love that.
You know what, man? I worked with Bob.
Okay.
And a guy named Ace Hodge.
Okay.
Who's
I just
long
saw Ace a
retired.
little bit
He's
ago,
he's
yeah.
long retired, but dude, I loved going to work every day doing that.
It's fun.
I mean, now that's hard work.
Yeah.
But like those two, man, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I mean, that Bob, man, he's crazier than hell. He'd be a good guest on here.
Would he?
Oh, man. Bob, he's an interesting guy, man. I mean, I don't know. I always thought he was. I should be talking out of school. I don't know. I like Bob, but he's different. He's different bird, bud. But he knows what he's doing.
Yes.
And I just always had fun in the summer with those two. What I can say is, like, when I saw Bob go out on his own and do that, like, I thought, man, them guys that are working with him, I bet they are busting their ass.
They are.
Because
You should look at his eyes. You said they are.
They are. Well, I guarantee you. I guarantee you they are, man. Because, like, he doesn't have any stop in him, dude.
No.
I mean, you know, it's...
Did you see he had that look? He's like, no.
Well, dude, he doesn't. Like, he just doesn't have any stop in him. He's one of them guys that's kind of wired like that, man.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, when I was 18, 19 years old, you're like, well, hell yeah, let's go. You know, we can do that, you know, but it's like, jeez. I mean, I'd say you get...
There's guys like that.
He's a rare breed, bud. I mean, I guarantee you guys worked your rear ends off doing that.
Well, you got to like it.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't like it, you just won't get out of it.
How did you learn how to trim trees? Just did Bob teach you on the job?
Bob taught me on the job, yeah.
Okay.
So I've worked with a lot of people.
You a climber? You climb?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's freaky shit, dude.
It is.
Well, a lot of guys can trim trees, but not everybody can climb, right? Like, a lot of guys are just in the bucket only. I mean.
So when you think, you know, I've been asked before, what's the worst or what's the hardest day you've ever had? The hardest day I can think of is actually at nighttime. I was over in the hills, over in Hocking Hills area. I was climbing. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a big transmission line was down, and we were climbing. And there was like, I don't know, like half-inch ice on the trees. So that's about as rough as it gets, I think.
Oh, my.
Light on your head. That's it.
Well, we didn't have lights because, you know, the batteries done went dead on those. There's some guys on the ground shining them in your face.
Oh, my.
They didn't put it on the work. They put it on your face because they thought that's where it needed to be. And that was not where it needed to be.
And that's with Nelson.
That was with Nelson, yes.
Yeah, Dave used to get those calls, and they'd go like, let's say there was a tornado or a hurricane down in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, they might get dispatched, and they might go
all
to
roll
Florida,
down there,
and they'd go attack that thing.
So I never went out on any hurricanes or anything south like that. All of mine was like ice storms, snowstorms.
You might go to Washington Courthouse and sit at that truck stop for 8 hours and wait on where to go.
Yeah.
They just
most
called
of mine was you know, in excess of 2 or 3 hours away. So like Nemo, I just got reminded on Facebook. I posted some pictures 8 years ago, and Nemo hit Rhode Island. 36 inches of snow was the average. We're on I-95, and, you know, Pete Wolford, he's in the truck with me, and he says, John, when are we going to get on the highway? I said, well, hell, we've been on the highway for 15 minutes. We're on I-95 pushing snow with the bumper of the truck.
Oh, my goodness.
Chains on the rear tires and just tooling back to the motel.
Pete was Nelson. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
That's how him and Dave knew each other.
Yeah. But, man, though.
Pete and Pablo.
So you worked with Bob for several years then.
And
he's the one that taught you how to climb and how to cut trees.
How to climb and how to run a bucket, you know, and different things like that. And then I took what he taught me and learned a little bit
at Nelson,
a little bit more. Nelson's and what I wanted to learn on my own.
Okay, yeah.
And put all that together.
Like, did it piece together with you pretty quick that you're like, man, I enjoy this work.
Well, so like. Growing up on a farm, I'd trimmed trees before out of a tractor bucket. You know what I mean? Anybody that grows up on a farm knows how to do that.
Yeah.
You put old dad in the tractor, and you get the chainsaw.
That way, whenever you're running the tractor, if it's big enough to hit you, you got to get up there and cut it out, because that way you can stay on your tractor and get everything cut.
You don't beat your mirrors, your lights off, and the glass out of your cab and all that.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned. He said, "You ever trimmed trees before?" And I said, "Yeah, I have a tractor bucket." He said, "Well, put that belt on and climb up that tree." I'm like, damn, I didn't know that was a thing. I always thought you just did it out of the bucket.
Yeah.
Chad is too, but one of my best friends is Shallon Ray.
Yeah.
And, I've watched him, kind of, I knew him whenever he worked at the cemetery. And that was for summer help. And then he got on at the city. and I've watched him kind of go through this career, and you know, he's really taken a lot of pride. You know,
Yes.
like I will say that about all you guys. You guys take a lot of pride. Like it was cool. Like I used to go over to the park whenever you guys were over there, and what's going on? You know, and just, I mean, like it's cool to know your guys around here. Like
Yeah.
you know, we're kind of like small town USA in the fact that we still kind of are in house with everything
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, and I think that's pretty cool. You know, I mean,
It is.
Well, if you think about it, man, this is a very unique model of electric service. And
well, let's just
and all
say
that.
over at my rentals in town, and let's just
Yeah,
say that
yeah.
one night power goes out, I'm all electric over there, and I know it's that big tree over on the side, and it's laying over on the power line. You know, I know if I call these guys, they're going to tell me, they're at least going to get me through this.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be that guy. I'm probably going to call him. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, hey,
You know him, you're going to call him.
yeah. and
Well,
I'm
but here's the thing that happens though, and this is the difference in living like what I was out there on Franklin Valley versus here. And I'm not casting aspersions at AEP or Buckeye Rural. I'm not doing that. I realize it's a vast territory that they're, but man, there's something nice about when you're in the city, your power goes down, dude. You can pretty well
these guys are
guarantee within an hour. It's coming back on.
If it goes out.
If
If
it
it goes
ever
out.
goes out. Yeah. I mean, like it would go
Yeah, you
out
got- yeah.
for nothing out
If it
there.
goes
I
out.
mean,
If it goes out.
yeah. I mean, but dude, that's what I think is awesome about, and it's weird because this is a unique model here, our own little
It is.
thing, and you guys are all in house. You got everything from the tree trimmers to the linemen to everything there, and it's like we got our own equipment.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh yeah, we got something down, transformer blue, whatever. All right, let's go out, replace it. Let's go, boom, boom, boom,
It's done.
done. I mean, it's
taken care of.
it's unbelievable. And you guys might have to come out, take limbs off the line, or do whatever. But everybody's coming out of the same garage.
Yeah.
And you know,
You can coordinate your efforts a little better that way.
it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't work there, but it seems to me like you guys got a nice, a pretty nice camaraderie there, or whatever. You know.
other than Mahoney.
Now, Mahoney's watching. You know that, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
That's why he said it.
Yeah, yeah. I saw him tonight. His boy.
Yeah.
He was in. He's let his hair grow out long. Have you seen him?
No, I haven't.
And I didn't.
So Matt went through a stage like that.
Oh, Matt used to have a rat tail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't afraid of some long hair.
Well, I didn't recognize his son the other day, and I was telling you, he looked like Silent Bob.
Oh my God! Now that's not a very nice thing to say.
I told Bodie
To your friend.
I told him. I
mean-
said, "I'm sorry." I said,
Yeah.
"Tell your boy." I'm putting
Dude,
it
I'd
on.
never tell that savage something like that ever. I'd be afraid he'd go like cage mode on me or something, man.
He thought
I
it
mean,
was great.
hey, any man that can start a long fire and lay beside it and stay out. I mean, dude, look, I don't
I'm
run.
surprised you haven't got into that.
I don't run smack at that dude.
The outdoor stuff.
The Dave Canterbury Survival School.
No, I haven't done that.
You were a rock climber.
Does it interest
Yeah,
you?
you were a repeller.
Does
rock
that
climbing
interest?
and repelling.
Yeah, he used to rappel like off of big rocks.
Oh, wow. Well, then I'm surprised you're not compelled to do some of that survival stuff, man. That seems like that could be in your alley. I bet you'd be good at it.
Well, I mean, I can start a fire, pull a bootlace out, and get a bow drill going, and I've done it.
Oh, okay. Well, then, dude, hey, let's sponsor him to go to the Dave
Bad
Canterbury.
private school.
Yeah. Can we film you?
Yeah, we'll go pro you.
Yeah. That'd be fun. Because
Oh,
this guy'd be a contender, I guarantee you.
Yeah. Well, John,
He's resourceful.
You've jumped in and helped me a bunch with Jeeping for Joy.
Yeah.
You know, that's been fun. Mm-hmm. You know.
Is that just something that you enjoy, John? Like the jeeping or
Anything outdoors.
okay.
Anything outdoors, and I'm in it. I love it.
So speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about your shooting.
Okay.
Okay, like you got into that. You said you had a high school teacher
Yeah.
that kind of turned you on to that.
Well, he turned me on to the shooting, but that's where I learned the machining. that I'm into now. The
Oh.
CNC controlling and everything.
Oh, okay.
That's where I learned that from him.
Okay, cool.
He got me into that.
That's awesome.
It was 2 years of T&I.
Yeah.
I believe it stood for Trades and Industrial Education.
I remember that, and I'll tell you what, I think it's a shame that's no longer here, man.
Yeah, it's no longer a thing anymore.
Yeah, but man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of guys that came out of that program that went on and were
T&I?
machinists. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
They don't
you
have
know,
that anymore.
No.
I don't think so,
No.
dude. I don't think that they do.
The hell they doing?
I don't know.
It doesn't
Well, I
exist
just don't
anymore.
think I don't think that fits into
The
like
tooling's gone.
this new curriculum or whatever, man.
Who changed that?
Oh, but I think that's been going a long time. But
was that
I don't
Kasich?
know, huh?
Was that one of them Kasich deals?
I mean, I don't know whether it was state or, I mean, I can't speak to that. I don't know. I think now, like, maybe you can still get that training, but you have to go Buckeye Hills. You can't
Well, that
stay
may
here
make
in
sense.
this. I mean,
Okay.
That may
I
make
don't think
sense.
it's self-contained, but I think we had a really good program there for a while.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people at Bryn Mawr. There's a lot of people at Geiger Brothers.
Oh, hell yes.
There's a
there
lot
is.
of people
that
at,
got really good jobs.
Montgomery's.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went through that class. Ryan Shoemaker went through that class. Half a dozen other people I know went through that class. Even though they're not machinists.
Greg Farr went through that class.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell
and
you
you
what.
apply that knowledge.
Now, John,
into other things.
seriously, like if you go back to that, even what you're doing now with the plasma cutter and stuff like that, to some extent, that relates to that.
Completely, yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
CNC stands for computer numerical control.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
learn how to cut. I mean, there was machines down there that could cut out, a crank for an engine or a cam
Yeah,
or
right.
rebore an engine block or something
right,
like that.
like the Jackson City schools had made a nice investment in the equipment down
Yes.
there, man. I
Yes.
mean, they had a lot of stuff.
So you had all that in your class?
Yes.
So you knew how to like get on a computer and like or draw out a cut?
Draw out a cut, map out.
Well, you learned how to read like the CAD drawings, right?
Yes.
And-
I learned how to
and-
draw the CAD drawings.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, dude, that's
I have
highly
CAD.
skilled.
I have CAD. That I wish that I would have got a jump on that in high school. Mm-hmm. But of course, computers weren't real big whenever I was in school. But
Yeah.
CAD's cool. CAD'll do it for you.
Well, a coworker of mine was telling me about. He worked at a truck plant in Springfield. It went from part of the manufacturing went from 1,200 employees in a plant down to 80 because of CAD and because of robotics and things like that.
Wow.
Whenever I was at Meridian, a robot. So like let's say we were building a truck hood, okay? And I've always just you would get in something like this and you would love it. So like I built a lot of different ones in there. I built the 603s, which is the Kenworth truck hood, and then we had to build 24 of those 23 of the Kenworth truck hoods a night. And then the Volvos, we built 64 hoods a night. Actually, Volvos, you went 64 a shift.
Now, would you retool to do that or different lines?
Was that what I what?
Would you retool your presses to
Your
do that or
equipment, yeah.
just
Yeah,
different
no, that
lines?
was a different line.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
but you could they had it dialed in by like the minute on how many minutes it would take you to do a 603 truck hood, and if you had to run at 100% capacity to make
Right.
make your night, And
So the quotas were set high.
Yeah,
Like
well,
it
and
wasn't-
the order, that was the order. So they,
Right, you
that
had to
was what
fulfill it,
you
yeah.
had to fulfill. So like that Volvo hood, we did 64 of those a night, and one robot. So what would happen is like you had a stage, you had like a staging area, and then you had this robot in the middle of it. And this robot would go over and pick up the parts and boom, and it would set everything down in there, and it would make its lap, and it would do that, and then you'd hear it like, and then boom, and it was gluing, and it would go in and put all the bonding on everything, and then whenever you were building that truck, and then you'd go over and you'd grab those parts and you'd go set them on there, trim out the bonding, set it in the oven, give it a clamp,
Yeah.
and do all that. I mean, it was all robotics, and then we were just the only thing we were the ones making the steps.
Okay.
So we were just taking from one robot basically to the next.
Okay.
You were just moving it
You were
from one
handlers,
station,
basically. You
one
were
station
handlers.
to the next.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, all that stuff is just. I wish that I had that brain. Like I wish that I could see stuff like you guys do that. That's a trait. Like I can't do that.
Oh yeah.
You probably like whenever you saw that back bumper of yours, you saw exactly how that thing was broke down.
Yes.
You saw the assembly process all the way through that and how that happened. And I just look at that thing.
Well,
like,
do you think
how am I
that,
gonna get
that,
that
that
stuff?
do you think, well, like, do you think that some of the classes you had, like mechanical drawing, the T&I and stuff like that, did that further develop the way that you thought anyway?
Yes.
Or was most of it just stuff that you picked up growing up?
Well, you pick it up growing up. You pick it up from those classes, and every little piece of knowledge you get, it's another tool in your toolbox.
Well, and you probably really enjoyed those type of classes, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of like, wow, now this, I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
I mean, this,
Because
I
it
like
makes
to see
sense
where
to
it
you
works.
already.
Yeah. Right.
It's
right.
not like calculus. You go from. It'd be like taking somebody from 5th grade math and throwing them into AP calculus.
Yeah, right.
Zero comprehension of it.
Yeah,
So you go
right.
through the steps.
Sure.
And just so happened that I went through the steps and acquired knowledge in an
On your
order.
way up, and,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you get to those, and you can really maximize your potential
Yeah.
in a class like that. That, I don't know, man. I think that's cool. That's a loss that we don't have that. But like I said, I don't think that it's kids don't have access to that now. It's just not here. It's
just not.
It's at Buckeye Hills, I think.
Yeah.
or something.
Which, like I said, that's,
which is fine.
that's
I mean, yeah. It was just kind of cool that we had it right here. I mean, you didn't have to.
Well, I mean, it was
bounce
Manpower Park. It was all.
Yeah.
It all was geared and circled around that thought
Yes.
of developing trades.
Sure. I mean, yeah, well, that's what it was there. That was for a long time. It was Manpower, Training Center.
Yeah.
Manpower Park. That was,
Yeah.
And why not have that?
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that we've talked about it many times on the show. Like, there are so many things that carry a value greater than equal to like a college education or an education in a trade. I mean, and then there's so many people that just have natural skills that they come out and make money with. And one thing that's really dawned on me as I've gotten older is that, like, man, it really doesn't matter what you train at, or what opportunities maybe you have. It's kind of what opportunities you take advantage of in learning. Because, man, there's so many things you can do in this world to work.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember when I was going through school, like, it seemed like a lot of the talk was like, hey, look, man, like, if you don't go to college, like, you're never going to be able to get a job.
I'm not so sure college is a big thing anymore.
Well, I mean, dude, I think it's a big thing, but I think you've got to look at the return on the investment, dude.
You got to look. Yeah, you have to look at that
Return
total
on the
picture.
investment. What you got sunk into that college
Yes,
education?
yes. And I think that you got to say, like, hey, man, if I'm just going for like a generic degree, okay, and when I say generic degree, and I'm going to get in the weeds here probably, but like I'm saying, like, English or business even.
Yeah, business.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's no defined job when I come out with my business
You're not an
management
orthopedic
degree.
surgeon.
Yeah. Now, if I'm going to be a doctor or a lawyer or to some extent a teacher, a nurse, like, you take those tracks through college, and there is a defined job when you come out. But how many business managers or business management grads do you see working at Home Depot, just like what me or you could have done?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm saying it's out there, man.
Yeah.
Because, like, that job, like, okay, if you come out and you're like, hey, man, I got a business management degree. I'm 21 years old, dude. Yeah, I'm 21 years old.
You got a business
I got a business management degree. I've been in a college classroom, but other than that, I don't know shit. Okay. Yeah. I've never sold anything to anybody. I've never managed anybody. I've never any of the things that we learned at Western Southern Life,
Or anywhere.
on the job.
On the job, yeah.
So, like, man, I'm not saying there's no value to it, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, look, hey,
I know
my
what
hat
you're
is
saying.
off, and hey, go get your degree. But what I'm saying is, don't think that that's going to make it easy, man. because
Oh, no,
you're still going to have to go find.
There's still a pool of other people out there that followed that same track.
Well, but I think you're going to have that extra, man. You're going to have to, like in the summers when you're in college, you better be getting some sort of internship or something where it further defines what your skill set is.
Yes.
Like, is your skill going to be in sales?
Man, I'm
Is
not
it going
so
to be
sure
in marketing?
I'm not so sure that I mean, I don't know. I think it's all situational. I mean, like, just like here recently with me, I mean, I've really gotten excited about the insurance business.
Sure.
Had a great year last year.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it. I'm 40.
Right. That also makes a huge difference.
So I mean, how do you say it to a 24-year-old?
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
And it's like, I think you just have to kind of figure it out on your own.
Well, man, it's funny. Like, I was in a position
I
generically.
was a lot like John. I mean, I didn't go to T&I, but I mean, I worked in the mines and but I never could just hone in on a craft with it.
Yeah.
And enjoy
See, this guy
it.
honed in early.
Yeah, you honed
said,
in
I
on
can do
early.
this, and this is how I can carve out. This is where I'm going to make money. I'm good at this.
Yeah.
And you were able to identify that.
Yes.
I struggled to identify what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I had to try a lot of things. But like what I found is, in the job I had, this one and the one previous, when I started hiring people, when I first started that 10 years ago, like I was sitting there looking at resumes like, okay, well, man, all right, that dude went to Ohio State, man, good. Fisher College of Business, awesome. Dude, after doing that for about 2 or 3 years, I was like, all right, hey, that's great. Check that box, whatever. What have you done?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? How did you work your way through school? Did you work your way through school? Like, were you waiting tables at some bar while you were going to school? Did you have to pay your own way or whatever? That makes a difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
That does make a difference.
That makes a difference.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not putting anything down about school, and I don't want. No comments, please. I get it.
Chad hates all you smart.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Hey, I went I went to college too. So hey, relax.
This is a message from Dr. Reynolds.
Yeah. Relax. All I'm saying is that there are a lot more things and a lot more pieces that can be more important to success
Then school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, and I made a long way of saying that, but
Me and my wife talk about, and my wife is an exceptional kindergarten teacher. Like,
oh hell yes, she is.
She's a great kindergarten teacher. But like I've always thought, like, what else could she have done? Because like she's pretty good at her job.
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
like, man, if she would have just anything else that she would have wanted to do. Now, do I think her calling was a kindergarten teacher? Yeah, probably.
That's the way I look at my
She's
wife.
probably a dead bullseye on what she's doing.
Yeah, I think my wife got into like the Ohio University School of Journalism. Like she thought she was going to be the next, who knows, going to be a big journalist, big J journalist, and switched off and became an educator. And I mean, my God, it's her passion. I've never seen her so happy as when she went back to work teaching. She loves it, and she's great at it. But like, that's what it's about, is finding what you like and what your passion is. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you guys were both ahead of me, because I'll be honest, man, I don't think I knew what mine was till I was over 30 years old.
And some people don't.
I mean, I couldn't figure it out.
It just hit me. I really do. Like I'm going through some.
Dude, you had that passion back when we were selling it.
Yeah, and I lost it there for a little while. And
well, but don't you think that's typical? I mean, Jesus, you've been in that business for 20 years.
15 years now.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's like, okay, so how did you get into insurance? How did you get to where you're at?
That's
right
what I
now?
always wanted to do.
You always wanted to sell insurance.
Whenever I was grinding it, like in the mines and shit, and in the plants, I used to think, man, I'd like to sell insurance.
Yeah.
Give that man a little bit of ice. Let me top him off there.
All right. And COVID, get your own ice.
Wow.
He said, hey, there's the ice.
But I probably need a little shot too. But I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I did. I don't know why. I always just thought, man, because I was thinking about careers, because you know, I was looking for one. I was like,
Well,
shit,
now listen.
what am I
Let
going
me
to do?
tell you something. Necessity is the mother of all invention.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
thought,
And you know how I wound up with you at Western
yeah.
Southern, but dude, that changed the trajectory of my life.
yeah.
Man, that's what I needed.
too.
That's
Me
what
too.
I needed at that time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and you know.
coming over there, I mean, you know, did a lot for that, but for everything, and we, you know, we used to work in a sales job together.
Okay.
But so I wanted to
me
get
with
in.
the lights
I wanted to. COVID.
Oh yeah, just here. Let's put it over here with me and John. We're not afraid. We're not afraid of that.
But so I can remember one day, and I won't mention his name, but there was an insurance guy in town, and I was at the YMCA. I used to get off work at 3:00 whenever I worked at Meridian. I worked 7 to 3. So hell, I could be at the Y by 4:00. You know.
Okay.
Had all kinds of time. You know, didn't have no money. Had all kinds of time. And
Now, did you like that when you were doing that?
I liked having all that time. I didn't like not having any money. I can remember I was bringing home $330 a week.
Yeah.
That's what I brought home. And
No, but at that time, I mean, it wasn't like
shit. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting to that. So I can remember thinking like, this is how I was thinking. I was like, all right, so $330 a week, and for some reason in my mind, I was thinking that back then you had to put 20% down on a house.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, so I got to save up $20,000 if I want to buy a $100,000 house. So I started looking at like $100,000 houses, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll go to $80,000 house, you know, and I could save up this amount, you know, and I can just remember like thinking in my mind, I'm making $330 a week.
You've seen the bills go out.
My truck payments, you know, $300. So there's 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my insurance back in whenever you're 23, 24,
high.
$200 a
High.
month, you know.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I was
Apartment,
like,
utilities.
Yeah, I had an apartment, utilities, and,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, 2.5 weeks is gone.
And then I'd like to get me a beer on
and
Friday.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm pretty well living free on Fridays and
Yeah,
Saturdays.
yeah.
And I'm pretty well getting shit faced. So there goes 60 to 80 every Friday and every Saturday. So that's
This ain't adding up,
300,
boys.
400. I'm like, so at the end of the month, I got about $80 to the good.
Yeah, I'm not doing a very good job here, man.
And I was like, so $20,000 divided by $80 a month. I was like, oh, this ain't gonna get it. I was like, this sucks. So I can remember working out at the YMCA one time, and this other insurance guy was in there, and I was like, hey, I want to get in the insurance business. I was like, how do I do that? He's like, well, you got to go to school. And I said, what do you mean you gotta go to school? And I did college, but it just didn't work out. I was a dumbass. So, well, I went to nursing school and then got in it and hated it. I mean, absolutely. I was like, shit, like this is not for me. I'm not supposed to be a nurse.
Yeah.
You know. So I go to nursing school. I come back and moved back to Jackson, and I go back to the Y. I'm back in Jackson 6 months, and I see he's like, well, you gotta go to school. And I said, what do you mean? You gotta go to insurance school. And I was like, insurance school? I was like, what's that? And he's like, well, you know, it'd probably take you about, you know, I think he said 2 or 3 weeks or something. And I was like, okay. And so I started looking at it, and I was like, well, okay, I could probably do that. Well, just so happened at the time, the group that Chad and I worked with, they had a guy that had called at the time. Shane Wolford was the head varsity football coach.
Yeah.
And so they were just calling around looking for referrals is what they were doing. They were like, hey, we're looking to bring on some agents, and do you know anybody? And I had told Shane that I was looking to get, you know, an insurance business. I was like, man, this Meridian thing ain't gonna work out, bud. I was like, I think they're going
Things
to
ain't adding up
strike.
here. I don't like the math.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be out of a job.
Yeah, my Excel sheet here looks like shit, pal.
And I was like, it's gonna take me 30
yeah.
years to save up $20,000.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna pan out. You
Yeah.
know? So I was like, I just gotta figure out how to get in the insurance business. Well, about that time, this guy called him, and he, like a month later, it was like freaky. And so this guy calls me up, and he says, hey, man, I was talking to Shane Wolford, and we're looking to hire insurance agents in your area, and, you know, we'd like to talk to you. And I was like, well, hell yes.
By God, perfect.
And so the week that I took that job was the week of the lockdown.
Thank goodness.
Thank God. I
So
mean,
you didn't get to participate in the lockdown.
no, and like 100 and some of them bought short-term major medical insurance off of me in my first week in the business.
Made you.
I was off and running.
Helped you.
Yeah, I was off and running.
Yeah,
And,
that's awesome.
And I don't know. I've just
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm saying, there's a lot of ways to arrive in what you do for a living. You know, man, like we've all come from different, we've taken different paths. And I've always been envious of a guy like John that can see something and make it with his hands.
yeah.
Like, I feel like you have a greater capability of earning something because nobody can take that away from you, man.
Yeah.
Like, you can be like, man, if I need some money, well, I'll just go build a house.
Yeah, you could build
Or
a
I'll-
house.
or I'll
I'm
build
surprised
your-
you haven't done that yet.
Or I'll build
What's-
I'll build a pavilion.
You're
I'll build-
wanting to, though, aren't you?
I've kicked the idea around. Yeah.
Well, isn't that why you're wanting to? Well, no, you were wanting to buy the hillside or take the hillside behind you.
Yeah.
You already own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how I arrived where I'm at now is, heated with wood, growing up on the farm.
Okay.
We got all this wood on the farm. We, cut down our deadfalls and the bad trees here and there.
Yeah.
Full-time job.
Full-time job.
Oh, I bet it was, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm living
80 acres. It's a lot of work.
yeah,
A lot of trees, though. A lot of cherries.
a lot of shit and nothing flat.
No.
You're on a hillside. You're a goat.
So we had 80 acres, and 20 of it you could get a tractor on. And the only flat ground you had out there is what you made.
Yeah.
Or what was
And where your house
you
was.
leveled it out.
What was
yeah.
under your own 2 feet at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you because you're
Where
going
the
to
cows
level it out.
carved out on the side of the hill.
Yeah.
So
You guys have cows?
we did. So what we were doing was a buddy of mine and I were out for lunch. We could leave for lunch. So we're out in his car out riding around. So we went to
You're working on the farm, and this is in the summertime.
I was at school.
Okay.
I was at school. I was
They used to be able to leave for lunch. We always did.
oh, you can't do it now?
No.
Junior in high school. September. So school just started. We were out for lunch, enjoying ourselves. We went out to the lake.
Chew in. You got to chew in.
No, I didn't chew.
Oh.
I never have chewed. Tried it and it didn't work. I turned
Didn't pan
green.
out for you.
Turned green as the Grinch.
I was a lunch chewer. We'd hit that. Oh God! As soon as you hit that, oh God! That you could hear those cans of packing.
But a
Yeah.
piece of Gillespie's pizza in between two dips.
One
And
on
a
the way.
ski.
And a,
Yeah,
and a ski.
I was a trade winning sweet tea and a slice,
I was
half sub and a slice of pizza.
Well,
Gillespie's.
I was two slices of pizza, a ski, and two dips at
Yeah,
lunch.
yeah.
I mean, that's
You had
pretty well
45
how it worked.
minutes.
It was great.
Some classes you could chew in. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were out at lunch. We were out in his car. We went out to the lake on Pleasant Grove Road.
Okay.
We drove past Kincaid's place. Mountains of firewood.
Mountains.
So I thought, well, hell, he's got that much firewood. Surely he want somebody to split it. I didn't know what he did there. I didn't know it was a tree trimming outfit.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'll get me a job doing that instead of punching a cash register because I just didn't.
You were punching a cash register?
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
I hadn't
but
had a
you didn't
job
want
yet.
to. Yeah,
I
okay,
weed eated. So the only job I'd had to make money outside of baling hay on the farm for mom and dad was to bale hay for other farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
right.
I
weed
used
eat.
to do that. Yeah. And we'd eat. Yep. And
Yep.
paint fence or whatever.
Yeah,
needed done.
whatever it took, you made a little fishing money. Or,
Mainly hay or fishing money. You have buy night crawlers.
Little
and
fishing money.
Couple
yeah,
cokes.
yeah.
That's all it did.
That's all.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Can of chew.
I saw these big piles of firewood out there. So I'll get a job splitting firewood. So I drove out there the next day after school. Said, hey, you need any help splitting firewood? Yeah. Hey, you be here tomorrow after school. Have some jeans on. I had shorts and tennis.
You knocked on his door.
Yeah, I knocked on his door out there. Knocked on his door and said, hey, you need any help? Yeah, I said, I grew up splitting firewood. Hell, I can do this.
Yeah.
I just want to make a little bit of money.
Are you thinking splitter or are you thinking wood maul?
I
You
didn't know
didn't care.
what splitter was until that point.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I know, man. Yeah.
And I got there and he had a split. He had a splitter. I thought, well, damn, this is nice.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Easy work.
Yeah, this is easy work. Hell, I'll do this all day long for $6-7 an hour. Loved it. Well, I showed up first day on the job. Well, he wasn't there. There was another guy there. He said, hey, you the new guy? I said, yeah. So he brought me here in town. The other guy did. I was the new guy. The other guy brought me in town. They was on a tree trimming job. I thought, wow, I didn't know they trimmed trees. So he comes down out of the bucket, shows me all the safety placards and stuff on the chippers. Just drag that brush and put it in the chipper and do it as I'm showing you here and read all those placards. So when I was done with it, I let him know. He said, when I'm up in the bucket, you don't get under me. You make eye contact with me before you run in and grab a piece of brush. And it just kind of went from there.
So you weren't out there splitting wood. You were on the tree trimming crew. You're chipping brush.
First day I didn't split wood for like a week.
Man, I remember.
And that thing would beat the hell out of you. Oh my God. That brush would
backs of
zip
your
past
head.
you.
Yeah.
So
That's what I didn't like about doing it.
I would come
Like
home.
you get a dead tree, and that's what I always thought. Like, man, in the winter, I bet this is a bitch. Because I always did it in the summer, but you get a dead tree with no leaves on it.
And it'll beat the ears plumb.
I mean, that whip the back of your head.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I mean, I learned quick to flip my hard hat around. I mean, so that the bill was on my neck. I mean, because that thing, I mean, you better have a good pair of gloves, and you better have some kind of protection on the
that's
back.
just important in life.
Well, I mean,
It's a life lesson.
yeah. Well, this old boy was, I was plenty strong enough to throw anything they needed in there, and I learned the hard way. I was just a bowl in the china shop, just throwing it in there.
I can imagine.
I'll tell you, those 2 or 3 of those things just swarp the back of your neck, and you're like, I mean, it's just like you got whipped. I mean, fetch me a switch, boy.
Man, I remember the first year I had my wood stove. I thought I had a wood maul. I had a wood maul and a sledge.
Did you put your big flannel shirt on and go out there?
Oh, I'd get out there.
Did you have a
Suspenders.
chainsaw on this hand?
Suspenders. Oh,
And a log on this arm?
So I'd cut this shit all up, and then I'd get out there and I was like, I'm gonna split my firewood,
yeah. Paul Bunyan, bud.
Man, I wood mauled and I cut all summer, and I had me this beautiful stack of wood,
Lasted a solid week.
It lasted a week, man. Lasted like 10 days.
And so were you immediately like, I better automate this?
Yeah,
I mean, this is good.
So I went and bought me a splitter, and then now I just go buy the wood. I'm like, man,
Oh, you don't even do the splitter?
No,
Sold
if
that.
I have to.
Sold it.
No, I still have the splitter, but only if one falls.
Okay.
That's what I told Dad. He said, "Are you gonna sell a splitter?" I said, "No, I'll keep it just in case I have to cut one out."
So here you go. Now you've outsourced your lawn care.
now I'm outsourced.
Now you've outsourced your wood. Hey, third party ain't a bad way to go, bud.
It comes to my garage.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
put it
hey.
right in my garage. All I got to do is pack it from the house to the garage.
You need one of them wood halter, like one of those wood racks you put on the front porch.
No, I got that in my garage.
Okay.
And you got access to your garage from the house.
Yeah,
so
I can
you just walk out.
Yeah, so my garage is attached.
You have one of those little slings that you lay them in
Yeah.
and bring it in. And,
Yeah, so I can fit a pickup load is 2 weeks. So a pickup load will last me 2 weeks. So I can fit a pickup load in my house. I only touch it once. So yeah, I've got that part figured out.
So that gentleman brings it and stacks it.
Yeah, right there in the garage
Hot damn.
Yeah,
That's a good gig.
for $50.
I call that dialed in.
Yeah,
I
$50.
mean, that's- yeah.
But I'm warm. I mean, right now it's 84 degrees in my house.
Now that's a little bit too hot. I don't know if I
Mindy
could
sweat.
sleep. I don't know if I could sleep in an 84-degree house.
We sleep, just shut her down.
Well, yeah, that's
You know,
true.
and
Yeah,
I mean, it's nice
You
and
got, the only
comfortable.
thing between you and God's a sheet. That's it.
No, now the only bad part.
well, they're making their own damn fire out there.
hey, man, the wife's hot.
I mean, my God, this man.
The wife's been hot lately.
Hell, he doesn't need any heat in that house.
Friction.
Friction. Man, the wife's been hot. She's been feeling good. She's
Sorry,
having a good
Mindy.
year.
I'm sorry, Mindy.
I'm here to brag about it. Hell, I've been proud of it.
I know you enjoyed that.
Oh yeah.
I think it's all right. I mean, hell, I can't say that anybody wouldn't. I mean, hell, I'd peacock that shit.
Yeah. But I've been kind of proud of it. But yeah, we touched the wood one time. But now here's the downfall. Now you'll wake up in the morning and it'll be
A little chilly.
72.
It'll burn out during the
Just
night.
stoke
Like,
it out.
how often
Stoke
do
it
you
out.
have to feed it? I mean,
I feed mine 3 times a day.
full. I mean, to full capacity. Or,
Fireplace.
No, I have a wood burning stove in my house.
Okay.
Yep. And you can I was like Jeremiah Johnson when I first moved out in the country. I thought, by God, we're going to turn into survivalists. So I bought me one of them stoves that you could cook on, heat your
He's
house.
got a bunker full of canned food.
And so like if the power goes out, because I always heard about these horror stories about living out in the country, about you'd be out of electric for 3 weeks. And
Yeah.
shit. And I was like, well,
Do you have a generator?
yeah.
See, like, is it one of those automatic kick-on
No, I
generators?
don't have one.
I ever live out again?
Yeah, you'll have one there.
Yep, I'll spend
Well, I was-
money
yeah, I
as
was
part
at
of
your
buying
house.
the house.
By God, he says.
Yeah, I will. Before I buy the house, I'll work into the deal that I will buy one of those generator systems to where the power kicks off and that son of a bitch kicks on. they make them. I mean, yeah.
You have one of those out there? I'm sure you have a generator.
We have a generator, yeah.
But you got to hook it up, or is it automatic?
We got to hook it up.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. This
I'll
is
get
what,
Pretty good
full auto.
power out
this
there.
is.
It really, like,
That's
do
the
you
way
have
mine
very
is.
much problem, or I mean?
Once in a blue moon, I think our longest outage was like 8 hours.
That's what,
Oh, that's not bad, man.
no,
I bet
no,
mine's
it's
not
none
that.
of
I'd
this
say
days
mine's
on
like,
end, but
mine's probably like 4.
See, man, I went.
4 hours.
Yeah, my power Buckeye Rule has done an exceptional
I
job.
went. See, my in-laws, same thing. Like they're on that. But I'll tell you what, man. Out there, we would sit
Yeah, well, I was
3-4
there one night.
days, dude.
I was
Yeah.
out there that night, and I about got stranded out there.
Oh yeah,
I remember that night like it was yesterday. That's the
Yeah.
only time I could never get home.
yeah. 3-4 days. We'd go without power. I mean,
I got to talking to people, and me and you going down in that basement
oh yeah,
whenever it flooded.
yeah.
That was the dumbest thing we could ever do.
We could have both been dead
We
down
could
there,
have
but
both died
that
that
was
night.
stupid.
That was, and I didn't know that at all.
I
mean,
didn't even, dude. I didn't even think about it.
The power went out. Like I was sitting up Chad's one night, and we was just hanging out drinking beer.
Yeah.
and sitting in the garage, and all of a sudden we knew it was going to storm,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it started raining,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean it rained. Well,
Yeah.
next thing you know, his power goes out, and his basement's got 3 feet of water in it.
Yeah. Sump pump shut off.
Sump pump shut
Our
off.
French drain was all fouled up. Water would run off that hill, and it was an uncharacteristically
It was.
hard, fast rain.
Right, yeah,
I
it
mean,
was,
you
it
know,
was, and it had already been raining earlier in the week, and just everything was saturated.
yeah.
And so then I go to, but he goes down in there, and we were going to kill the main power, see if the sump pump
Would kick back
would
on.
kick
yeah.
back on.
I was going to try to throw
you
the,
got live power, and he's 4 feet of water in the basement.
and I'm wading through it like a dumbass.
Balls deep. That's horrible.
We both were.
I think I got down in there, but I didn't.
You didn't get. I went further than you. Yeah, I did. I went.
And I was telling somebody about that, and they were like, "You did what?"
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like,
I've had several men tell me that since. Like, dude,
because
lucky.
the
Don't do
power
that.
was on, but the
Yeah.
sump pump was off,
right.
and we were trying
The
to
power
get over,
came back on, and I was trying to kick the sump pump back on.
Yeah, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But people don't understand though. Like,
Well, people don't understand that I'm a savage.
but like, we were talking about mowers, weed eaters. That is one thing out in the chainsaws, wood splitters. Listen, when you move to the country, take it for what it is. If you have over 2 or 3 acres, you are going to have to buy industrial
All of those.
or commercial shit.
Well, and my thing is,
You ain't going to Walmart and buying your $89.99 weed.
Well,
eater.
and guys,
No,
here's the
that-
problem.
That'll last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the problem, guys. I didn't know how to run any of that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and that's the truth.
Yeah. I
God's
didn't
honest
either that.
truth. I mean, I knew how to run a weed eater a little bit, but not to the degree that I needed to know how to run it
Yeah.
to do that kind of weed eating. And like, dude, I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know,
Tractors. You
like a
about gotta have
chainsaw-
tractor. Do you have a
I-
tractor?
No,
You don't have, but you don't have any like pasture though, do you?
no, it's just yard.
see, I'm scared to death of a chainsaw. I mean, like, Bob and those guys would let me work on a little bit on the ground, like, because I'd say to them like, hey, I don't know how to run one of those, and like they would give me tips on, hey, this is what you do, it's got to be sharp or that thing will kick out of there, and But dude, I was around them enough to get respect for them and realize I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I mean, dude, one slip on one of those, you can get yourself in real bad shape with
Yeah.
a chainsaw.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lose a leg, bleed out.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah. Boys, anything else we need to talk about
Well, heck,
other
I
than
don't
bleeding
know.
out? How long have we been?
About 210.
Oh my, we're in good shape.
We do all right.
Yeah. How can they find you? How can they find Bronx Metal
Yeah,
Worx?
let's talk about
Facebook?
that.
Let's go to Facebook. Type in Bronx Metal Worx. You'll
Okay.
find me.
And you can do pretty much any type of custom work on that, from making the brackets to making signs.
Signs, brackets, parts, Jeep parts.
What about like what's the weather vanes? Can you make weather vanes?
I can do weather vanes. Yes.
That'd be cool.
So it works out as everything I do. I'll quote you a price for something, and in that, how I develop that price is time and material. How much time it's going to take me to do it. That
How
includes.
in the hell would you do a weather vane? How would you know how to do that?
You look at a picture of one and you figure it out.
No, but the
This
weather.
has to spin. That has to spin. This does not.
Yeah, but the weather vane has to be a weather vane. It's
Yeah.
not just a sign. That's a weather vane.
Yeah.
Well, you put it together after you cut probably a couple of pieces, I'd imagine, because it's got to be 3-dimensional, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
gotta
but it has to point towards certain things, right?
Well, the wind.
it's got to catch the wind,
So
and
look,
then
you
it
know,
points
Dart?
where the wind is coming from,
See-
north, south, east, west.
Yeah.
You look at a dart. You look at an arrow. The big area that grabs the wind, the big surface area, is at the back.
Uh-huh.
So you want it to point towards where the wind is coming from. You make the arrow the small part, and the feathers or the fletching. that's
So
gonna
you
grab
get all
the-
that. You get all that geometrics.
Yeah, you just understand it.
I don't get it. Could you make a weather vane?
If I did, you'd have to like attach a windsock to it, probably to
That
make
would
mine
work
work.
too.
You'd have to.
It's surface
You'd
area.
have to
It
attach
grabs
a
it, it
Channel
finds
3
it.
app to mine that was digitally programmed.
I couldn't make it. I get the concept, but there's no way I could make it.
I mean, are you going to go out there?
That works too.
It does.
You take a piece of grass and hold it up chest high, and you let go of it.
It'll tell you which way
Yeah.
the wind's coming from.
You don't
If
need
it
a weather
falls
vane.
at a 45, that's roughly 5 to 6, 7 miles an hour. It's not bad.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Handier in the shirt pocket.
And you're market, as John Daniels says. Brother, so they can find you at Facebook at Bronx
Enjoyed
Metal
it,
Worx.
buddy.
Bronx
You on
Metal Work.
Shopify or anything
I'm not on Shopify yet.
You need to get on that.
Everything's basic right now.
You're not shipping right now.
I'm not. I haven't. I haven't been
You
requested
will.
to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But just so you know, if it's a cost to me, it's a cost to you.
Yeah.
The man.
Free
yeah.
shipping on Amazon is not free.
This
You're paying
is this
for
is
it.
not
It's built into the
Amazon.
cost.
Yeah. This is not Amazon. Yeah. Quality work
Quality work
requires
craftsmanship.
you have to pay for it.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay for it. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a big deal. Everybody gets that.
Heck no, man. That's what it's about.
So look him up, Bronx Metal Worx on
Yeah.
Facebook.com.
Yeah. John Daniels.
John Daniels, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Hold him up.
Yes.
Thank you. See ya.
Cheers.